been injured in an accident, one thing leads to another. Your injury leads to treatment. Treatment leads to hospital bills. Bills lead to debt. Debt leads to stress. The advocates can help relieve that stress. Having an advocate attorney on your side leads to faster resolutions, fair outcomes, and a peaceful recovery for you. You deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, The Monty Show live on Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. Good already Wednesday to you. Here on the show, as always, presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. Always good to understand when you get into an accident, what you should do. And I know I tell you this every day, but you need clear risk-free advice. When you get into an accident, don't even think about it. Get to theadvocates.com, because no matter what, you need somebody to tell you what your situation is, because hopefully you've never been in an accident before, and after this, you'll never be in an accident again. Hopefully you've never been hurt at work. Yes, the advocates handle workman's comp. Yes, the advocates handle your neighbor's dog got loose and attacked your child or yourself. They handle all of that, and it never costs you a dime out of your pocket. You don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case at theadvocates.com. And trust me when I tell you, my favorite thing about the advocates is they're working in your communities. They act with empathy. They act with understanding and compassion because they've seen this before. I know it feels like you're in this fight on your own, and it feels daunting, but it doesn't have to be when you go to the professionals at theadvocates.com. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Mike Smith is the first one in this morning. Hit the like button. Help the show out. Yes, please. Alabama's money issue isn't a lack of overall revenue, but the need to reallocate funds and raise new money. Well, listen, I think this is going to be a very interesting conversation about people, and most recently now, Paul Feinbaum sounding the alarm about no donors in the SEC. I would not be hitting the panic button. This idea that Mark Cuban won a national championship on Monday night, is there validity in that? Sure. Is Indiana spending more money than they've ever spent? They absolutely are. There is no question about that. Welcome to the nightmare. Another glorious 21 times a month day, fella. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. 21st of the month. Let's hope you're getting it in. 21. Welcome to the nightmare is working it long and hard. Maury, behave. Smash the like button as you come in, everyone.
Okay.
Should be careful where we put the commas there.
And he's updated his name.
Seaman. Oh, no, this is not updated.
Oh.
It's been that way for a minute. You know, Jay McClanahan, hello. Norge Coog, hello. Big Blue Horses, hello. 24/7, 365. That's exactly right. That's right. Bailey Dietrich coming out of the gates this morning.
Okay.
You know, it's fine. As the week goes on, I noticed we see more of Monty's chair sticking out.
What does that mean, bro? What do you mean?
I have no idea what that means.
So wait, last week it was, or was that the week before where we went full commenting on Monty Ghost and lighting and all that? And now this week we're talking about his chair sticking out 3 inches to the left. That's what we're doing now?
Well, Marcus is convinced, our TV buddy Marcus is convinced that I am AI generated. Marcus, who's newer to the show, apparently while on a flight decided to go back and watch all of our shorts. All of them. And he thought it would be a good idea to send me this photo. And he does not believe. He thinks I've had weight loss surgery.
No.
I
Absolutely
have not had weight loss surgery. That
Absolutely
is, he says this is from 2021, which could be true or not. I could not tell you. Based on the brick wall behind us there.
It would have been later than 21.
I think that would have been later than 21.
Yeah.
I think that would have been like 22, 23.
He legitimately went back into the shows on a flight and took a screenshot, this screenshot, and sent it to you. That's how much effort bro is putting in.
Yeah, he was flying back from a certain event, the PGA show. He was flying back from a certain event where he was negotiating. He was telling me he was there to negotiate some contracts, and he got delayed in Charlotte because there was some issue with an airplane, and so it was a 4-hour delay. So Marcus decided, I'm going to go find fat ass, and what he decided was Marcus hates shorts. He does not like the short video thing. Cannot stand TikTok. But he was telling me he's trying to get into it because in the television world, they're manipulating some things. And long story short, he was like, dude, he like straight up said, you've had weight loss surgery. I said, no, I have not had weight loss surgery.
No, absolutely not.
I have not. This is, I imagine 60 pounds heavier than I am now. I have not had weight loss surgery. I have lost significant weight. Yes, I have. Yeah. And but no, I have not had.
It always fascinates me when people go that far back, when people go down like a rabbit hole, they go full Alice in Wonderland on it and find like random ass stuff from like 5 years ago, or in this case, 3 years ago or whatever this was.
I get this all the time though.
Yeah,
man,
it's weird.
I get this all the time. I hear from people who go back, and one of the great things about YouTube is your content lives forever. Like anybody on an airplane can go watch every show we've ever done. Your life is more valuable than that. But I just think it's interesting that you get people that will find a rando video about like the Michigan cheating scandal is a big one. The BYU N-bomb volleyball video gets 4 or 5 comments a week. That was how many years ago? Like that's how YouTube works, which is great. But it's fine. Matt Muldoon, Matt, good to see you. Not going to lie, I went back a couple of weeks ago to Texas State Top 7 Day, which was a classic. There you go.
Yes.
Texas State is the top. Yeah.
I like the description too. Texas State Top 7 Day. Well said.
You remember that when the Texas State supporter came in and said they're one of the top 7 universities?
Yeah, and that's why the Pac-12 should have them.
In Texas, it is what it is. But it's fine. My doctor said the upper levels of Mounjaro are as good as having weight loss surgery. It's funny. I met with my doctor yesterday because I'm on 7.5 Zepbound, and we've been discussing. My doctor makes me do a check-in every 60 to 90 days. And she will only fill 2 prescriptions at a time. And when I ask for the 3rd prescription, she's always like, all right, well, we got to have a virtual appointment.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it, and she's encouraging me to use the 10.0 Zepbound because she was asking me about my vacation. And so I was talking, because right now I'm kind of plateaued. I haven't lost weight in 2 weeks. But a lot of that is I'm coming back from vacation. I think my nutrition hasn't been in line or what have you. But it's not, Zepbound's not an easy button. I'll tell you that for sure. There is TCU James, whose life's work is to rid the church of pedophilia and pedophile priests.
Hey, look here, man.
No, Monty hit a woman in a car and her husband yelled thinner at him.
See, again, dude, this is one of those where I'm like,
I don't know.
I see the effort, but man, this did not land the way I think you were hoping it would.
Thinner. Well, yeah. And I would agree. Obviously, you guys, come on. Who are we kidding? Right? Like I'm thinner, but it is what it is. Anyway, I appreciate everybody being here. No disrespect, Monty. Thought that picture was Brett Bielema. Thank you. Now I look now Brett Bielema's on the Monty show. You know, or is this
Brett?
What
are you doing,
this is
bro?
Brett? This is Brett Bielema.
That's right. That's
or
right.
no, Michael Irvin. My bad.
Yeah,
Michael Irvin.
It's easy to get him confused. You know,
who's the guy that's got the fistful of diamonds in the movies? In Iron, like the big guy in the comic book movies. He's got the glove on and it's got all the diamonds.
Thanos?
Sure. Here's Thanos' jawline. That picture is so strange. It is so strange, but cocaine hand is how Monty lost his way. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it was, dude. Cocaine hand.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
James, what the heck are you talking about? I don't know what he's talking about. Stephen King movie, short story. Okay. Excuse me. Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
It is. Yeah.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
There you go. TCU James, whose life work is to rid the church of pedophilia and pedophile priests. Anyone
in God's name, image, and likeness.
There you go. Anyone who has seen the Stephen King movie Thinner knew where I was going. Nobody has seen that movie. But the Brett Bielema comment was awesome. Okay. Holly Rowe is left-handed.
Bro, the fact that it's your default picture now is crazy, dude. Still waiting for Holly Rowe's left hand to show up in the comments section, by the way.
I'm not. Who doesn't know Thinner? Literally, no one knows Thinner. With
all due respect.
Brian says Alabama hasn't been good since Nick Saban retired. Georgia got their butt kicked by Oregon. Well, like you mean like a church organ? Because TCU James, his life work is to rid the church of pedophilia. Never mind. I think this conversation around what is happening with the SEC is fascinating. I'm going to play this bite unmolested and just let it ruminate. Anyway, here's Paul Feinbaum.
Outside of Texas and Texas A&M, the list of billionaires starts to get really thin. Yeah. I can tell you, in the state of Alabama, there are 2 billionaires, only 2 in the entire state. They're both Auburn supporters. Alabama doesn't have a billionaire. And why is a billionaire important, Matt? Because they can throw around money. You can throw around money if you're worth $800 million too. But it's a little bit easier if you're a billionaire to give your school, not only to put your father's name on the business building, but to, give your NIL fund whatever it needs. And you can't call the commissioner of the SEC and say, hey, you have to solve this problem. You can't print money unless you got your keys to the printing press. And it's a problem. And I think people are theorizing on where did the SEC go wrong. I don't think it's a collective situation. It's about a couple of schools. It's about Alabama. Yeah. It's about Georgia. It's about Texas, because these are the schools that now in Texas A&M. You can't fix that by having meetings. You can't fix that by going from 12 to 16 to 24. It's all individual. Indiana didn't get there. Indiana was helped by the Big Ten. But Indiana got to the national championship by itself.
Listen, I on the Matt Berry show there, Paul Feinbaum, do I believe that Alabama's broke? No. Is Paul Feinbaum correct that Alabama doesn't have billionaires? Well, it depends on who you ask, because Paul Bryant Jr., obviously in the bloodline of Paul Bear Bryant, is by some accounts a billionaire. I mean, he is the founder of Ready Mix Cement, which he sold. He's got the Bryant Bank. Like, just looking at all of the major donors, I don't know that it's accurate to say there are no billionaires in Alabama who support Alabama. Now, is there a dearth of billionaires just rolling around Alabama? No, it's one of the most underprivileged states in the nation, frankly. That does not mean that Alabama's broke. And I think it's just one of these things where this feels like spinning and excuse making. And really what it feels like is a call to the board for funding. That's what this feels like. This feels like a cash call. This is Paul Feinbaum, who is one of the most ardent supporters of the SEC, letting billionaires know they need to do more or Indiana's going to keep winning. That's what this feels like to me. I don't think for a second that Alabama is struggling to compete financially in NIL and recruiting. What I think is happening is you have schools like Michigan, Bryce Underwood, for instance. Bryce Underwood was bought and paid for. And who was the number 2 option for Bryce Underwood? Well, it was LSU. But LSU didn't win that battle because an heiress with $1 billion to her name wanted a 5-star quarterback at Michigan. So she bought it, right? That's the game we're playing. Mark Cuban wanted Indiana to be a prominent football program, so he bought it. Is Alabama struggling for that? Probably. Does Alabama have a notable donor? Oh, I almost said boner. Donor like Mark Cuban? They don't. Does that mean that Alabama can't win? It doesn't. Alabama was in position to win and didn't execute. Are you telling me Fernando Mendoza is a better quarterback than Ty Simpson? Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. He played better football than Ty Simpson played football. It is, in my mind, it is as simple as that. You are looking at a situation where everything came together and Indiana won a national championship. There's a reason that undefeated national championships are very rare because it's really hard to do. So when you look at a guy like Fernando Mendoza and you look at Mark Cuban and you look at Kirk Cignetti and you look at the talent that he was able to get, where they're an older profile of team, I think, what is their average age, 23 or something like that? I am telling you now, that is a one-off situation. At some point, this is a guess. I want you to understand that. I am guessing at some point, Alabama is going to figure out to win a national championship, you actually have to be able to hand the ball to a running back who can effectively run the football.
Oh.
Alabama didn't have a running game this year. Alabama, you look at their wide receivers. I mean, we could go into all the reasons that Alabama struggled this year. I don't believe that Alabama struggled because they're out of money.
No, and I think when you lose, people start asking questions about your money. You know, when you're, you know, when the narrative is, you know, Big Ten back to back, when the narrative is, you know, the Big Ten's got all this money, you know, your first area that you're going to go to in the SEC is, okay, well, how do we get more money? How do we level that playing field, and how do we, you know, continue to be the top dog in the fight? And because that's really all this is to me. You know, I agree completely that, you know, obviously Paul Feinbaum is a voice in the SEC. He is somebody who obviously controls the SEC narrative for ESPN, and I think that it's a situation where the SEC being better obviously helps many people. There's no question about that. And I think that you know, yeah, sure, if you focus on Alabama, yeah, do they only have 2 billionaires? Sure. Are they Auburn supporters? Sure. Does that mean the SEC is struggling for money? Absolutely not. You know, does that mean that you know, the SEC doesn't have their version of Cody Campbell at their different universities? Absolutely not, right? I mean, they do. They have that person and probably several persons over, you know, and I think that there are just some examples from this season where you can see the power of having a billionaire or multiple billionaires backing you, you know, and everyone looks.
Alabama won 11 games.
Yeah, like they didn't have a bad year, but this is what we argued about, right? This is what we had disagreed about. Which is what is a good year at Alabama? Because it ain't 11 wins and not doing anything in the CFP, and I think that's that's the great thing and the bad thing in the SEC is that a great season is I would say at least getting to the semifinal. If you get to the semifinal and you lose, all right, man, you know what? They were just a better team that night. But getting to the CFP and being a one and done is just not good enough. And I would also again remind you that the way you went out this year also I think sticks in the craw of Alabama fan. Just with how that game went and Simpson getting sat down or whatever for injury and there was just drama. So I just think that
Alabama wasn't good enough on the field.
Yeah.
They were not woefully untalented. I think the bigger issue is you look at things like recruiting, right? Alabama is amongst many SEC teams that have a massive amount of Midwest kids on their roster. It's not a recruiting problem. This is the portal. This is what the transfer portal has done. If you look at the way geographies are changing in this country, right? People are leaving the Midwest in droves, right? And as a Chicago kid, I can tell you, I totally get that. There it is. You could not pay me enough money to go live in the Midwest, struggle financially because there's no jobs. You understand why in this secular nature of our economy, which currently is down, why so many people are evacuating the Midwest. Well, they have kids and they're going to have kids and they're having kids and those kids are turning into college football players. And if you live in the South, are you really going to go? Are you more apt to go to Missouri or are you more apt to go to Alabama? Well, if you're a 5-star recruit and you can have your pick and the money's equal, you're probably going to Alabama. So Alabama's not, and I think this narrative took off yesterday, and the numbers don't bear it out. Alabama's not struggling to recruit Jimmy the high school junior. What Alabama is struggling with is winning in the portal. It is, in my opinion, it's as simple as that. It's why you look at Florida's struggles. It's why you look at Lane Kiffin's dominance. Look how dominant Ole Miss was in the portal. Look how dominant LSU has been in the portal this cycle. Dominant. That's where you have to win. So are you telling me that LSU is struggling for billionaire donors? They're not. The SEC, this I don't know, gaslighting, whistle sounding, whatever you want to call this. I do not buy into the narrative that the SEC is struggling. I do not buy into the narrative that like this bullshit about how, they lost the Jimmy's Oil Change Express Bowl. Who cares? Do you guys really believe that the nobody bowl? Do you really believe that? Again, I'll stay in my yard. Do you really believe that Notre Dame was dodging BYU in the Pop-Tarts Bowl? Was it a bad look that they opted out? I don't think so. People want to say that. Great. But do you really think they're scared of BYU? Get out of here. Like that, you're out of your mind. What you are looking at now is, especially now that the Big Ten's won back-to-back national championships, Ohio State is one of the most well-heeled football programs in the country. They make a ton of money. They have a great donor base. They're always going to have talent. They're always going to have coaching because they pay their coaches well and they pay their transfer portal kids well. Right? They're the model, in my opinion, or one of the models, in my opinion, for how you run a football program. It's what makes Ohio State exceptional. But that doesn't mean that the SEC is struggling. Ole Miss damn near went to a national championship this year. Ole Miss.
Well, and I think most people agree that they would have gone if Lane hadn't left and all that drama hadn't taken place.
My uncle would be my aunt, but he's got balls, so he's not.
Right.
This is the world we live in. Ole Miss didn't go to a national championship because they lost their head coach and their staff. That's that's the way the game is played now. The SEC's got to get better at playing the game of college football off the field.
Right.
You got to portal better. You got to develop talent better. And you look now, I think without question, and I was looking at the talent profiles, there is no doubt in my mind that the top 9 teams in the SEC are about to become the top 11 teams because Ole Miss, Georgia, Texas A&M, Bama, Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Tennessee, and LSU are all going to be exponentially better. That's the top 9 teams, right? I have real questions about Vanderbilt without Diego's hot mom. I have real questions about the ability of, let's say, Kentucky to ever be a top 5 team in the SEC. I have to think Florida gets better. I have to think Auburn at some point gets better.
Well, that was the one that I was going to point out is when you have see, and this is the thing that's not attractive to Big Ten fan, is that I can make a strong case that this is the average version of the SEC currently. Kirby's not as good as he once was. Bama's not as good as they once were, even though they had an 11-win season. LSU clearly not as good as they once were, but back on the track, obviously, with Lane. Texas, I have trouble saying they're not as good as they once were, but I feel like they're going to be better in year 2 with Arch. I think, there was a lot of improvement there. I would expect them to be pretty competitive this year. I think he's going to have a much better season and a much better start to the season, frankly.
He better.
And then you've got Summerall, Florida, right? You've got a situation at Florida where theoretically Florida should be much more competitive. And so to that point, I say, you're just going to have a hard time, keeping the SEC down for very long, which has kind of been our point on the show for, what seemingly is like the last week where a Big Ten fan is like, we're the best, we're amazing, nobody can top us. And it's like, well, I don't really agree with that. College football is cyclical. And yeah, you're higher on the cycle, but your conference isn't really better off overall, right? And you look at the SEC and I just think it's scary times in college football when the SEC has as many teams into the CFP as they do, and they're as far as they're concerned, performing at a rather average level when you look at programs and where they're at.
But this is a conversation about paying players. Like, I think one of the fascinating discussions revolves around this idea that the SEC only was dominant in 16 to 22 national championships because they were the only ones paying players. And this is every day on this show. I can tell you it's every day talking to people. Like I can tell you, I spoke to somebody in the Big Ten who doesn't even deny that everybody, if you believe that the SEC, and I think this is SEC bias because it's complete nonsense. If you think the SEC was the only one paying players, I have no doubt the SEC was paying players. Was Nick Saban only dominant because he paid players? The answer is absolutely not. And I find it hard to believe that here we sit in a world where we're talking about why Indiana won a championship, and we're going to make the argument that Alabama was the only entity paying players. It's simply not true. And you can look at Ohio State's a really good example because Ohio State's been relevant every year. It's a dominant program. So if we use the Alabama and Nick Saban was only good because he was paying players argument, then has Ohio State only been relevant for all of these years because they were paying players?
Yeah.
Is that the argument we're making? Come on. It's insulting that we sit here and we want to discount everybody's legacy but our own. It doesn't work like that. Why is it, and this is inevitably, and I dare not delve into the comment section on this. Why is it that we can't say, man, the SEC won 16 of 22 championships, that's domination? Well, no, Monty, they paid people. Well, everybody paid people. Everybody paid. Again, I go back to Ohio State, the Tressel, Mark Pryor's, I go back to USC. Do we just take away USC's? Well, yeah, they tried and vacated, and Reggie Bush in apartments. Do you really think Alabama and Nick Saban? I'm not even convinced that Nick Saban had a widespread payment operation. I'm not convinced of that.
Yeah, well, I think that he was just so damn good at coaching kids that, I mean, I'm sure at some point he had to pay a kid, and I don't deny that. But when you build that kind of reputation, that's going to help you a lot, especially in the pre-NIL era.
Yeah, I just don't think that. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. And I'm texting with a college football person who says everybody does everything in college football. If it turns out that when a player wears a thong, he runs faster, how many players would be putting on thongs? Every one of them.
That's the bottom line.
If you truly believe, and the biggest fan base is on the show, Texas. Do you think Texas was not paying players? Why didn't they win? USC, one of the biggest fan bases on the show. We know what USC was doing. Ohio State, one of the biggest fan bases on the show. Do you guys really think you weren't paying players? University, UNLV, Jerry Tarkanian. You really think? Come on. I think you just have to be, you have to be real about it. I think the difference now is, and the reason that the Big Ten's able to win back-to-back championships is you have done the portal better than the SEC has done the portal. That is certainly the case with Caleb Downs and Will Howard. That was one of the best rosters in the history of college football.
Yep.
That's
and
why
he had
they
to
won a
have
national
that championship, by the way. Just to point that out, because I think people forget Ryan Day was on the ropes as the head coach at Ohio State. He had to have a national championship, and he went out and got the portal, paid a ton of money, and they went out and got one. So, I just don't, it's just not rocket science in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't think that it, anyway, the point is, I don't think that Alabama lacks billionaires. I think what Alabama lacks is, and I like Kalen DeBoer a lot. They were not prepared from a roster perspective and from a game-to-game rep in and out perspective to compete for a national championship. You can't no-show the way they no-showed and think that you're prepared, because you're not. That's why, in my opinion, like the Epstein Island boys at Happy Ending Valley, go ahead, hire them.
Yeah.
Right. Michigan allegedly all in on Kalen DeBoer. And then when you couldn't get him, you guys were like, he sucks anyway. Hire him. Right. Like, I think my opinion is a lot of this is simply the fact that you have a guy like Mark Cuban who just does not care about his money going to Indiana. He is willing to. The question is now, will he continue to fund Indiana football?
Yeah, and I think that the Mark Cubans of the world, Ryan Smith, Cody Campbell, we have examples all across college football. Like, I think everyone just forgets, like Cuban's late to the game. Cuban's like the fifth guy to the game publicly. So like, I just think that whether you're joining us from the power plant at Levi's Stadium or you're in Indiana land, I just think that it's very clear, man. Bring money to the table, go get the talent, and then you have to be able to coach that talent to a level that allows you to win the football game. That's the process. I think it's tried and true. I think We've seen it at multiple levels in college football. You've seen it in the Big 12. You've now seen it in the Big 10, and you've seen it in the SEC. So I don't want to hear that Baylor doesn't know how to be more competitive, that Okie Light doesn't know how to be more competitive, or any ACC team. You guys damn well know what you have to do to be more competitive. It's just a question of whether you're willing to do it or not. And the fact that the SEC and their mouthpiece Paul Feinbaum are sounding the alarm on the SEC not having as much money tells you that they understand. It's not that they can't afford to keep the lights on, bro. It's that they want to win national championships, and they don't feel like they've got the treasure trove of money, to do that at the rate that they would like to.
But why then? And if this was all about money, why isn't Oregon winning?
Yeah, I mean, because I think, you know why Oregon's not winning? Because I think that, again, they're missing, part 3 of the 3-part formula, which is, hey, great, you've got talent, but now you got to coach up that talent, because clearly it's possible. Clearly it's possible to take a team that maybe isn't as big in stature physically and go win a national championship, which is exactly what Curt Cignetti just did against Miami, right? What did we hear all week? Oh, we're bigger than them. We're stronger than them. We're going to run it down their throat. Like, we're going to manhandle them. And it was quite the opposite, So I think that Oregon might be the best example of, hey, like, coach is in a good place, talent theoretically is in a good place, but the money allegedly is in a good place, right?
I don't know. I wouldn't just rubber stamp coaches in a good place.
Well, he ain't getting fired by Oregon anytime soon. So I don't. What is?
Well, but I think he's unproven. Dan Lanning, but Kirk Cignetti is not unproven. Ryan Day, unproven.
Because I maintain that Kalen DeBoer and Dan Lanning are the same guy right now.
I would agree with that.
I mean,
I would agree with that.
Obviously, Kalen DeBoer took Washington where he took him. So, I mean, he's got that leg up on Dan. But, like, current day right now, with what they're doing, like, right now, I view them kind of the same way.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a critical year for Kalen DeBoer. I think Kalen DeBoer, I think anything short of an appearance in the national championship game and Kalen DeBoer is going to be in trouble. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I mean, again, I love Jam Miller. I think the kid's a stud. What does it matter if he can't play?
Agreed completely.
You got to keep your kids on the field, and you always have to have competition. And now you're losing Ty Simpson, right? So I think Dan Lanning is one of the most overrated coaches in college football. He has done, quite literally, he has done nothing. He has won nothing. He has more disappointments than he does wins. And to me, that was Ryan Day, and then he won a national championship. And now Dan Lanning's lost Will Stein, Tosh Lupoi. I think they haven't done, I don't think they've had a great portal class. We'll find out. Where's all the money? All this money that Phil Knight's got, and everybody's wearing a swoosh, and Knack is where is it? And I'm sure TCU James, whose life's work is to rid the church of pedophilia and pedophile priests, is going to come in here and talk about their facilities. What does it all mean?
Yeah, I think there's several guys. I agree with you on Dan. I think we've talked about this. I think that, the performance in the CFP just wasn't good enough, and obviously we can make all the jokes and that I'm a Dan Lanning guy and all of that. And I like what Dan's done at Oregon, so far. He is a younger head coach, just by overall age. Like, I think everyone likes to just leave out the part where Curt Cignetti's been in the game like 40 years longer or 30 years longer than guys like Dan. But, I think that Dan, you're right. I agree, has proving to do. And the problem is that, I don't know if you're Oregon, what you do about that besides continue to work with them and fund it. I mean, you're really telling me that Oregon anytime soon, and anytime soon would be in the next 3 years, I'd say, is going to start talking about Dan? I don't think so. Right? Dan had him in the CFP, and as far as I'm concerned, for them, that's fine. But
isn't that the worst thing in the world?
Yeah, it is. But again, I think that part of it too is like Oregon's position is obviously different than, like for today's conversation, Bama's position, in terms of Oregon's in the Big Ten. They are making a ton of money. They are going to the CFP. The program from an overall perspective is healthy and doing well. No, they're not winning national championships. No, they're not winning at the top end the way I think every Oregon fan would like to see them. But, I think that, when you think of coaches that are kind of in that same position, it's like Dan Lanning, Lincoln, obviously. I would throw Sark in there. I would throw Kalen DeBoer in there. I think there's a handful of these guys that are like sort of at the door of breaking through and becoming like one of the best head coaches in college football. And we're kind of at that point where it's like, all right, who's going to actually step up and do it? Like, who's going to beat down the door and who's going to get to the national championship game and get it done? Because obviously Cignetti was the outlier in the traditional path. He was the outlier in how you do this. So I'm not going to be the guy that's like, oh, well, clearly it can be done, so Dan should go and do it. I don't think that because Kurt did it, that means Dan Lanning can do it that same way, or that Lincoln can do it the same way. Kurt Cignetti is off the Saban tree, does it a certain way, has a certain style, and is 65 years old, I think, or whatever he is, 63 years old.
84.
It's just different. So I just think that you're right. Like, I think the notion that Oregon's got Nike money and Phil Knight and all that, I think that's a little played now, dude. I think that
Phil Knight and all that.
It's a little played. I think that Oregon football needs to pick it up a little bit at the end of the year. And the last thing I'll say is, I do think for coaches, that's part of how we need to have the conversation. Like every time we talk about Notre Dame, it's like, oh, well, they got to figure out how to win in September, right? Not November. Well, Dan's got to figure out how to win in December, right? Dan's got to figure out how to win at the end of the year. That's the hole in his game right now. So it'll be interesting to see, to your point, how does the portal end up working out? How does, what does this next team look like now that he's got Dante Moore back?
Well, I think Lane Kiffin, I just look at I'm looking at the portal rankings right now. It's not even close. That the SEC, if we look at the rankings in the portal, LSU, Ole Miss, and Texas are 1, 2, and 3. Then it is Ohio State, Epstein Island, Oklahoma State, Indiana, Texas Tech, Kentucky, and Notre Dame. That's your top 10. That's a lot of SEC. That is a lot of SEC. And I would point out that A&M is 11th. Auburn's 12th. That's a lot of SEC. And I think it is going to be very interesting. Again, I just ask, what in the world is the Big 12 doing? What is the Big 12 doing?
Not what those guys are doing.
Because you look at the numbers in the Big 12, like, how is TCU dead last in the portal? You want to know the portal rankings? The 4 worst teams in the Big 12 portal rankings. 13, West Virginia. 14, Iowa State. 15, UCF. 16, TCU. They have, and the hard part is, you just have nothing. TCU's got 12 portal commits. 12. Look at Utah, 9th in the Big 12 with 14 portal commits. You're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. And then you go look at, and this is why I say we could sit here and panic. Oh my God. Like, you look at the bottom half of what are the 4 worst teams in the SEC? Arkansas, Georgia has 9 commits. 9 commits. You know what their average is? 88.4. Mississippi State and Vandy. So wait a minute. 9 commits and you're at an 80. Like, it's wild to me. It's wild to me. And then you look at the SEC, the number 1 team is LSU. They have 38 incoming. Ole Miss, 26. Texas, 16 with an average of 90. 90. It's a huge difference, man. Like it just is, in my opinion, when you look at the names like Cam Coleman, the wide receiver from Auburn, DeAndre Moore, obviously is the biggest loss that they have, but you replace DeAndre Moore with Cam Coleman. So your biggest loss is a 94 and your biggest gain's a 98. You got better. That's what's hard to understand, right? Like it's just difficult when you look at guys like Hollywood Smothers or, Melvin Siani or like all these dudes like Rasheem Biles, the linebacker from Pitt, leaving Pitt to go to Texas. That's why the SEC is dominant. So we can sit here and we can hit the panic button, but come on. Chewy Gonzalez. Don't say unmolested, Monty. Jesuit James is here. Good point. Jesuit. Look at the respect. Jesuit James. I like it. Yes, the Big Ten hate is part of the internet issue. Yes, it is. I would agree with that. Everybody cheated. The SEC just did it best. Okay. I don't disagree with that. Alpha Buckeye. As soon as everyone can pay legally, the SEC can't make a title game, and now 3 separate Big Ten teams. No, 2. It's 2, not 3 teams have won. No coincidence. Well, I don't think that this is the exact kind of comment I'm talking about. So you're saying that Ohio State wasn't paying people illegally. That's your belief. Because my opinion is they absolutely were.
Yeah.
That's your belief. Okay. I mean, kids knew if you went to Bama under Saban, you were getting drafted, even if you sat 2-3 years before playing. I would agree with that. Chewy Gonzalez, I think the SEC was successful because the old guard, Saban, Ogeron, et cetera, had better coaching philosophies than the new guard. I would agree. Coaching is a big problem. Randy Riding, USC was a pioneer in paying players. It definitely wasn't an SEC or a Big Ten exclusive. No, it was not. I would agree with that. The NCAA should get a commissioner like the NFL does, because the kids in college, when they get money, they do things that get them in trouble. Well,
I don't think anybody gives a damn about kids getting in trouble because of the money they pay them. I'm just going to be honest.
See Henry Ruggs.
Yeah. Nobody cares. Honestly, dude, like I appreciate the sentiment here, but literally nobody cares. It is as simple as you signed a contract. We're paying you. If you want to go and run your Corvette into the back of a minivan, that's on you, bro. That's on nobody else but you.
That is 100% your decision-making.
Yeah.
BYU FTB. I think that means for the butthole. The old Southwest Conference used to compete with each other. Then SMU got the death penalty for it. Truth. SC was definitely paying players. Reggie Bush had to vacate his Heisman. Well, no, they gave it back. Oh, by the way, I don't know if they were paying players, because the Reggie Bush thing wasn't the Reggie Bush thing an agent situation. But
who knows? Who knows?
What do I know? I'm not very smart.
Money was involved with Reggie Bush is what we know.
I don't disagree. Lanning and Lincoln. Yeah, same guy. Same Oregon fan doesn't want to talk about Jake.
I think I've been very transparent. I think I've been.
Yeah, you like to throat slam Dan after losses.
I think that.
Do you know what that's like?
I think that I've been very accountable that he needs to do more in the CFP. Like at some point, it's all cool to drop 70 on a dead man walking Mike Gundy this past season, but when you got to Indiana in the middle of the year, you got boat raced. And then you get JMU Tech, and then again you got boat raced by Indiana. So there are levels to the game, clearly.
I would agree. Dan Lanning has a lot of proving to do. Dolomite, that Nike money is masking a lot of weakness in that coaching staff. Well, I think he had 2 elite coordinators. Here's my question. Dan Lanning's a defensive guy. Why did you not have a pass rush? Why were you? I
That's
think
not
that
the scheme you were running. That wasn't what they were doing. That was clearly not the defense they were choosing to run.
So let me get this right. You were the Chicago Bears of the Big Ten.
Correct. What?
They wanted to rush the passer. They didn't have the horses to rush the passer.
So they chose not to rush the passer.
Right,
or
which
try
is
to rush the passer.
ultimately my point. Why don't you have, you're at Oregon, you have all this money. Why, and I'm sorry, TCU James, whose life's work is to rid the church of pedophilia and pedophile priests. You have all these facilities. You have all these facilities. You have Nike money. Phil Knight, who's literally wearing a skin suit. I just think that Dan Lanning, ooh, great coach. Show me. I would put Lane Kiffin in this same boat with something to prove. Did he prove nothing at Ole Miss?
Well, he didn't win anything. What did he win?
Well, I think he had one of the best teams in the country this year. And he hasn't won anything. I would agree with that.
I mean, he's shown he can portal, no question about it. He's shown he can build a roster. I don't think anyone disagrees with that.
And I think he's shown he can win games anywhere he is. I think that's for sure. Lanning had a lot to prove, but so does Lane, Sarkisian, Riley, DeBoer. I think Steve Sarkisian's got a lot to prove. Sark bringing Texas back, but at the same time coming up short. Big deal. I agree. TCU James, whose life work is to rid the church of pedophilia and pedophile priests. How many kids were paid in the 90s and 2000s by Ole Miss before NIL was legal? I have no idea. I have no clue. Not a clue. It's almost like folks forgot that Oregon entered the portal era while also joining a new conference. Let's see how Dan Lanning era continues. It better continue on an upward trajectory. Because I think him not taking the Bama and the LSU job and then tanking really hurts his resume, in my opinion. It's all about coaching up players. NIL is creating parity. Money and opportunity is what kids want. Depth is hard to keep like in the old days. Totally agree. How old is Signetti? 78? 60-something. How old was Saban when he first won? 50, 55. Lanning's 39. Right, but in this day and age, I think it's cool to be young, but what good is youth if you don't win? What good is youth if you don't win?
Yeah, I think that you have a harsher viewpoint on Dan Lanning overall. I think that Dan is in the CFP regularly, which is saying more than Lincoln, which is saying more than some of these other guys.
Right, but I'm not the one on the show who moisturizes his joint.
Right, but you're the one saying, you're the one essentially pushing the narrative that if it doesn't continue, how many more years would you give him? 3 years? 2 years before you're talking about firing him?
I'd have to know what's happening on the field. If you don't dramatically upgrade, like I give Sark credit, he fired Pete Kwiatkowski and hired Will Muschamp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tosh Lapoy and Will Stein just walked out the door and you kept it in-house.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I would have done. You're, in my opinion, you have to be significantly better than they are. You just cannot continue. Multiple years in a row now, you have just absolutely fallen apart in the playoff. And you don't have a great portal. That's the other thing that I think really matters. He has 12 commits, 0 5 and 0 4 stars. Or 2 4 stars, 8 3 stars. And I think the biggest issue is that when you look at his position, well, who's his most notable portal guy? Patrick Mahomes, or Dylan Raiola. That's his most notable portal guy.
Mm-hmm.
Coy Parrish, okay, but my question is, Tione Gray flamed out at Notre Dame. Terrence Green didn't. I think Terrence Green's a good pickup for Alabama, but you're losing. Will Tioni Gray flame out at Notre Dame? I don't know. We're going to find out. But you're losing the better part of your defense. And where are they going? Blake Purchase is going to Ole Miss, right? You look at, and this probably shouldn't be surprising. You're losing a bunch of defensive dudes to Cal, right? That's not surprising. But their best player that is going to Oregon is probably Dylan Raiola. Dante Moore, he will back up Dante Moore when he's healthy. But I think Dan Lanning's got a lot of questions to ask and answer. And I just don't think he's done it. I think this portal is terrifying. You know, like if you're an Oregon fan, this portal is terrifying. And this show would be terrifying without Calamoni gifting 20 Monty Show membership. Speaking of Cal, see, I say the word Cal football and look who shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a beacon in the night. Speaking of which, there's some controversy in the Instagram DMs.
Let me guess.
Before we get back to your comments. Yes.
Hey, player!
Buddy sends me his Venmo. He's like, here's my Venmo.
Victor's the way.
What do I want? Your Venmo? What do I
why
need?
Why do you need his Venmo?
Because he wants me to send him money.
For what?
It's his birthday. It is his birthday. He said, that's my Venmo. My birthday's February 4th, okay? I will see you sometime before then. Sundance starts, so I'll probably talk to you around my birthday. Got to make that money. Yeah. That's how we roll around here. I said, are you asking me for money? Hell no, he says. Well, then, what did you...
Player, please. It's legitimately my birthday on February 4th. And since you're too Scrooge McDuck to get me a red Buffalo Bills
they lost
logo hoodie...
Yeah,
they lost.
Didn't fulfill your part of the bargain, bro.
Send me some money for my birthday. It's legitimately February 4th. I don't want a fucking handout.
Except you sent your Venmo asking for
Buffalo
one.
Bills hoodie. It was a red Buffalo Bills long sleeve 3X shirt, but you can't find them. And then I figured if
I can find them.
Why not get two for me?
Brother, they're readily available.
Let me just get two.
So, yeah. If you just want to send the red 3X Buffalo Bills red
Bro,
hoodie,
this is like you're renting from him or
that would
something.
make a perfect birthday present for somebody that brings so much joy into your life. Next to your wife, I'm probably the most enjoyable person you know.
I mean, those are facts. Should we all get together and send Big Daddy Magic a Venmo?
No. No.
Are you worried he'll smoke that tree if we send him the Venmo?
Mainly because every video he sends is like 2 seconds after he's done smoking the tree, which is why he's slurring his speech in the video. I'm a little, hesitant to send bro money.
Yeah.
How many times what's he going to say to the cops after he gets another public intoxication situation happening? Well, the Monty Show sent me money and I was just getting beer, officer. That's not my fault. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not here for that, bro.
BDM needs weed. Could be.
And by the way, dude, hold on. By the way, your team lost. You didn't fulfill your portion of the bargain.
Yeah, how am I on the hook not for one, but now two Buffalo Bills shirts?
Yeah,
and the Bills, like Dan Lanning throat slamming Jake, choked away another championship for the average ass Josh Allen. He's not average ass. Yeah, Hey Playa sound drop makes me smile. Not sure if it sounds like Sloth of the Goonies doing the hey guys, or Fat Albert doing the hey.
Hey, player.
Sean the Hammer, rent Stu, here's my Venmo.
Right, like
Seriously.
he's talking to you as if you're his tenant. Like, hey, bro, you can just listen. I know times are tough, but here's my Venmo. It's due on February 4th. Like, just go ahead and send me a portion of it, dude. Come on.
TCU James, whose life work is ridding the church of pedophilia and pedophile priests. The Bills lost, no shirt. How long do I have to say the whole name?
I don't know, James. I mean, have we publicized your cause enough yet, or I mean, is it time to have that conversation yet, or what do you think?
I think he probably likes me saying the whole name better than Jesuit James.
Seaman Demon James.
Well, I mean, he boycotted the show for 37 minutes.
Because he was, he was tired of us, not pointing out what he does. So,
Marcus makes
life's work.
Marcus makes a great point. Let's raise like $500 and send the kid the Venmo so that we can see what weed really does to people. I think if we Venmo'd Big Daddy Magic $500, I'm not even sure he would buy weed. He would just smoke the Venmo.
I'm not sure we would see bro again for like 6 weeks if we gave him $500.
And that's the truth. It's his birthday. It would be a peace offering to the gods, right?
No.
It'd be, yes. It would be a peace offering. Me smoke them peace pipe, right? Like, which he would literally turn around and do.
Nah, man, I can't. I'm not facilitating bro, smoking weed. I'm not. No, I can't do it, dude. I'm sorry, bro. I can't.
The BDM stuff isn't cringe. It's just who he is. 3X probably needs a 6X. Be nice. I don't know about that. 3XL need no blank in handout. Well, he sounds like he's on a 2-day bender. No, that's how he is all the time.
Buddy was buddy tonight.
I'll give him a free membership to rehab. Would love to do it. Advocates' cause is greater than BDM. Well, that's the truth. Send BDM 2XL Mahomes hoodies. I should. Wow. Or a Bo Nix jersey.
Joseph Lee Burrow.
Rent is due on the 5th usually. So, yeah, today's the 21st. FTR.
But FTR, you have his Venmo. So, I mean, now you can pay your rent to BDM, apparently.
James is getting great PR on this show. He always does, whether he wants it or not.
That's because of his life's work, dude. That's why.
I'm still offended that he broke up with us over the phone through text, actually. Well, it happens, right?
Yeah.
Actually, stupid. Jesuit James has a nice ring to it. It says TCU James, whose life work is ridding the... In God's name,
you asked for this treatment, bro. You asked for this treatment. I don't want to hear any complaining about Monty pointing out what you do literally every time you comment. Okay?
Your life's work,
God's name, image, and likeness.
And you said that I disrespected your demon. Well, tell your demon that I didn't disrespect
your
nobody.
Demon.
Nobody. I don't know. Depends on where you live. You can get a gram of concentrated THC for $5 in Colorado. What are you doing in Colorado now? Wait, Jeremiah, I thought you lived in Texas. I'm so behind.
I think he's a Colorado. I don't know. Maybe I have that confused too. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll buy James James's book for sure. You should. You should. As should Noel Ramirez, the newest member of the Monty Show. Noel, appreciate you. BDM keeps Taco Bell in business single-handedly.
Facts.
Roche, we could donate to the advocates on his behalf for his birthday. We could do that.
Bro, why do you have laser eyes Morgan Scally as your default picture, bro?
Dude, I'm telling you, Ute fans are super excited about Morgan Scally. As you should be. As you should be. Right? Like, I think you should be excited about him.
Mm-hmm.
That jawline alone is going to make tackles. Holly Rowe can use her left hand for BDM's hand.
Like, for instance.
Bro, dude, relax.
Why put that into my visuals? Why put that into my visuals? I don't need that.
Holly Rowe's left hand.
Come on, bro. Come on. Noel Ramirez for $2. BDM would probably break his phone and snort it. Okay. Wow. You know. Sergeant Green, hey, playa, my birthday is February 4th. How about you buy me a new car? BDM by next week, probably. Probably.
Hey, player.
Probably. There's no doubt about it. And
he has no shame in asking, which I give him a lot of credit for. Zero shame in asking.
Hey, ain't nobody going to say yes if you don't ask.
Well, what's the worst they can say, Monty? I mean, if I ask him for a Lambo and they say no, at least I tried. It doesn't matter how ridiculous the ask is.
Is it a ridiculous ask for BDM to ask us to, like, send him money for his birthday? It's probably not ridiculous. I've had people ask me for money a lot on this show.
I'm not giving anybody money. I'm all good with Amazon gift cards or, like, I'm not giving you a Visa gift card to take to the dispensary, bro. That ain't happening.
To take to the dispensary.
That's just not happening, dude.
And I want that known.
Is weed legal in Utah? No chance.
I don't know. Let's look.
You got to go to the state liquor store just to get beer that's not even full flavored. There's no way it's legal in Utah. There is no way.
No.
I mean,
no. Recreational marijuana is not legal in Utah. Cannabis is illegal for recreational use.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see. Well, happy birthday, BDM. I mean,
I guess that's what we're getting out of this. No AJ Devanza references today or any references to. I'm surprised we're not getting more, Victor throat slamming after that little jump shot he made over Kevin Durant last night.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I guess we've escaped that for the day.
You guys are on this BDM thing. BDM should send me $500,000 just because I'm a nice guy and a TCU grad. David, truer words have never been. Will you use it on the portal? Because your boy Sonny's not.
This is your beloved.
My birthday was December 18th.
We show up.
You going to tell him, Jake?
Yeah, Chewy. Fortunately or unfortunately, we share birthdays. So
wow.
try not to ruin it, okay? Try not to ruin it, bro.
Wow. Okay? You didn't see me asking for money. No, because you don't need it. You have the Dodgers who have all the money in the world.
Why don't you fuck off?
Like it's
$2 billion deferment clause.
Did you guys see the real? Isn't Kyle Tucker's yearly nut for the Dodgers $121 million?
Yearly? I thought it was 60.
Luxury tax.
Well, there you go.
His yearly expense to the Dodgers, Kyle Tucker, is $121 million. Like, how are you for this guy to do calisthenics in right field every inning?
I just try to stand strong.
$121 million.
It's a lot of money, dude.
Bro.
Yeah, and by the way, I'd also like to point out, now that college football is over with, if you want to work in some baseball, you want to work in hockey or the NBA.
Why do you hate football so much?
Now we're in that time of year, because I'm just burned out on it now. Like Indiana and Miami wasn't exactly, the national championship I was hoping for. Good game? Yes. National championship I was hoping for? Not particularly. And I don't know. Do you never get burned out on college football or talking about it?
Never.
Like, well,
I literally I could turn this show on every day and just talk Notre Dame and the Chicago Bears for 3 hours. Happy to do it. Happy to do. What? You don't need to do that. Medical marijuana is legal in Utah. You have to have a medical card in Utah, but you basically just buy those. Is that true? He has his own thing going on today. He does. He really does. Medical MJ is legal in West Virginia, but not in smoking form. What other form does it come in? Like gummies
edibles,
or something?
Gummies.
Mine is August 31st. Put it on the calendar for a UCF black and gold shirt. Yeah, let me get right on that.
The victory has already been won.
Right. Pedophilia guy. Hey, playa. My birthday is May 12th.
Pedophilia guy.
I'm getting lazy. And I will be in Fort Worth for an intensive class.
Okay, dude. Again, we don't
this
need
is
to
the
know,
kind of comment
like,
where
what
nobody
am I supposed
cares.
to do? Like, what are we supposed to do when you say, yeah, Monty, I'm going to be in Fort Worth for my demon course where I'm taking an intensive. What the hell do you expect this show to do with demon course and intensive class?
And I'm going to buy you an Amazon gift card after you boycotted the show for 37 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
His cock.
You did. And he claims it was 43 minutes, apparently, but whatever.
Oh, 43 minutes.
Same difference,
You know. I'm going to be in Fort Worth. Nobody knows what the fucking intensive is. Nobody knows what that is. Nobody knows.
James, you should consider yourself lucky that Monty's dialed back the voice box dialogue too, because nobody's noticed that yet. But Monty hasn't been.
Everybody's noticed it. Everybody wants to know why I'm not using the demon voice.
Everybody is outraged.
People got up in their fucking feelings. Oh God, my feelings are hurt with your stupid. Shut up. I have feelings. Yeah, and nobody cares.
Yeah, so did those kids you're fighting for, brother. God.
Brother.
Just move to Greenland. Just.
Yeah, and it's not Greenland, okay? It's Greenland.
Orange land. It's Orange land.
Orange land. Soon to be Orange land.
Medical use is legal in Utah, and you know darn well BDM qualifies. He better.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Here we are. Okay.
What?
If I offended you, I apologize. And intensive class is when you get all your lectures in one. Bro, dude.
God.
Oh my God. Dude, do you really think we don't know what an intensive class is, bro?
If somebody could.
Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person?
James, bro, we know what an intensive class is. I just think it's funny that you refer to it as your demon and you're taking an intensive class for your demon.
You throw it out there like everybody knows what demon and intensive and rectum is. Like,
Family.
I'm waiting for someone to change their name to Semen Demon. Oh, it's happened multiple times. I'm unretiring Caps Lock for a second. It's not that nobody cares, but nobody cares.
And I'll see you in Valhalla.
There it is. There it is.
Too many details. Just
shut the fuck up, Donnie.
I understand you want everybody to know that you're a demon student at TCU. I totally get that you want everybody to know that you've abandoned Oak State. I totally get that.
I get it. I get that.
I watched The Pope's Exorcist last night. Thought of James. Yes, he always needs a hug.
James, we're not offended, dude. It's not an offense
who's
thing.
Offended?
It's not that deep, dude. It really is not that deep. It's just I just think it's always been interesting to me that we have people in the comments section, including yourself, such as in like, that are like, Monty, did you know that Roma Dunze's name is not Jim Adunze? Did you know that? It's actually Roma Dunze. Like, yeah, dude, we know.
Sure?
Like, we're aware, dude. Monty, Bro, an intensive course means you get all your lectures in 1 week and you knock the course out in like 4 weeks. Brother, we know. We know, dude. It's just fun to break balls. That's the whole point of doing the show.
We literally are just sitting around a water cooler here. Nobody has water coolers.
Oh.
We're sitting around a water cooler just chit-chatting away.
You look good in purple? No, dude, that's not what you should say to the pedophilia that you're fighting. That's not what you should say.
Bro, whoa. Dude, no, you don't look good in purple. No, you don't. That's not true. Look at that gum line. Are you out of your mind? No, you don't look good in purple.
And by the way, why are you in purple when you should be in orange?
Oh, because I'm a demon student with an intensive.
You
know.
I guess.
Can you be the Chicago Bears from Indiana?
Dude, I'll be pissed if they move to Gary, Indiana. Like, what are we doing?
I want people to understand. I want people to understand just how crappy. We can't have nice things. We can't have nice things. And if the Bears move to Indiana, let them move. Let them move.
But what are you going to be then? Are you going to be the Indiana Bears? Or you're just going to say you're the Chicago Bears and your stadium's in Indiana? No, you don't get to do that, dude. That's not how that works. This isn't Kansas City, dude, where you just decided to take one step over the state line and you're still the Kansas City Chiefs. You're talking about moving to Gary, Indiana, an up-and-coming community that can support an NFL team. What are you, Salt Lake? Come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. Like, that idea to me is worse than the horse track nonsense that we had for like 6 months around the Bears.
Well, Arlington Heights is Fort Worth. Like, it's just outside of Chicago.
But it's still in the state, which is all I care about. Move down to the southern border of Illinois if you want to. I don't give a damn. But like, you got to stay in the state, dude.
Yeah, I don't believe for a second. The issue, if you guys are unaware, the Bears want the state of Illinois and Cook County to pay a significant part of their taxes and the cost of their stadium. You know, just give me the pills. I got the Monty Show now. What I said to the VA shrink, exactly right. It's exactly right.
Give me the pills. BDM in Monty's DM section.
You know, I literally can't even exactly.
Yeah, I mean, when James comes in here talking about demons and accelerated courses and all that, you know, it's an interesting
accelerated
thing.
Courses. Yeah, the Bloomington Bears. Listen, it'll get done. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. It is going to be very ugly. If the Bears leave Chicago, which again, I don't think they're going to, it will be ugly. If they stay in Chicago, it will be ugly.
But you'll still be in Chicago.
You know.
Yeah.
It will be ugly. And we'll see. I don't know how you fix it. I really don't know how you fix it. And why is everybody sending me? I appreciate you guys so much. Did you guys see that?
That's a lie.
No, it's not a lie. I appreciate you guys because you send me stuff and it makes me feel smarter. You guys understand that Grok is not like a legitimate source, right?
Grok is not a real person. Are we on the same page with that?
This is Grok, okay? Grok is not a real person.
I cannot believe that bro sent you that picture. I'm still just shocked.
And notice that it's on his phone.
Like, dude, what are we doing?
So Grok apparently has predicted every national champion for the next 874 years.
Oh, boy.
What should actually be the next 50 years. Let's argue about it. And let me tell you why. God, I hope it's correct. After this from the advocates.
Injured in an accident? You may be entitled to a bigger settlement, up to 3.5 times bigger. Your initial consultation is 100% free, and we don't get paid unless we win your case. No matter the accident, we are here to help. The advocates will fight for you because you deserve clarity, you deserve justice, you deserve guidance, you deserve an advocate. Contact us today.
The Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. And the best part is you have nothing to lose, right? If you're not, I hear every day, do I need an attorney? Well, ask an attorney if you need an attorney. But you better understand that they're going to tell you no. If you don't need an attorney or you don't have a case, the advocates are going to tell you no. And that matters because there's this belief that, well, they're just looking for any case. They're not. That's what separates the advocates. You get what I think is the most important ingredient in your recovery, in your fight against the insurance companies. You get clear, risk-free advice. And if you don't have a case, trust me, they're going to tell you. Because remember, you don't ever reach into your pocket to pay the advocates a penny because you don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. Chabelain Injury Attorney live online right now. 24/7, 365. A live attorney, not AI, not Grok, none of that. A live attorney, 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. All right, let's talk about this because like quite literally 5 of you sent me this. Here are the predicted national champions for the next 50 years. This is good news and bad news. This according to Grok. Well, the good news is Notre Dame's going to win the championship in 2026. And then we're non-existent for another decade. And then we're non-existent for 30 more years. BYU allegedly is going to win the same amount of championships as Notre Dame in the next 50 years. Now, there aren't a whole lot of multi-time champions. Michigan's on there 3 times. Right? Texas is on there 3 times. Bama's on there. Texas Tech's on there. Ohio State.
SC.
I don't think by any chance this is accurate. Ohio State's got 3 on there. There ain't no chance in the world Manhattan's getting a championship in 2044. How accurate do you think this is, Jake?
I mean, obviously, without having any idea how Grok's coming up with this, I mean, you know, obviously people are going to say, well, I mean, it's possible for Notre Dame to win an Natty in 26. Yeah, sure, it's possible.
Look at 2052. Is that Army or is that Appy State?
Right.
BC's winning a championship in 2059.
Hey, maybe crazier things have happened, dude. The fact that we're talking about 2059 is wild.
Oak State James is a complete failure because Penn State's going to win in 2058 and 2061. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
Texas Tech, a multi-time champion, 27 and 32. Any chance this ever happens?
I don't think so. No, I mean, I because the thing that's interesting to me is like, how is Michigan not won one sooner with Witt? You know, how is like Texas going back to back? Okay, I guess, you know, I mean,
Tennessee.
I mean, listen, Tennessee's got resources, but I don't know.
Washington
I don't think
winning multiple championships.
Yeah, I don't think this is super accurate. I think that I think that AI spits out things that, you know, maybe are great for conversation like this, but honestly, I think that this is probably not even close to accurate, if that's my opinion.
So you're saying I shouldn't get my hopes up?
For 26 maybe, but other than that, no, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, we're going to win 3 in the next 20. I wouldn't be, no, I would not.
Why would you say such a hurtful thing?
Listen, man, if your hopes don't get up, that means you can't be disappointed, right?
What? Okay, I've given up on the NFL. The Bills are interviewing Brian Daboll and Lou Anarumo in person today. Like, what am I supposed?
What are you supposed to do? You're not going to buy any 3X long sleeve red T-shirts with those head coaches.
You fired Sean McDermott to take a step back with Brian Daboll and Lou Anarumo. Daboll, an offensive guy, Anarumo, a defensive guy. Josh Allen is dead. Do you not ask for a trade if you're Josh Allen? That's outrageous that you're going to interview those dudes. That's outrageous. I don't even know how.
Are they, dude? Oh, the answer?
If you
trying to get the Steeler job.
If you fired Sean McDermott to hire Brian Daboll, come on. Okay. I may start my CPE supervisor training next year.
Okay, let's take a guess at what CPE means. Certified
pubic endowment.
Clinical priest exorcist.
No, I'm going to go with clinical pubic endowment. I think that's where I'm going.
James, can you clarify, dude? I mean, man, wow. Right.
Apparently he and David Persons are
endowment.
James, I was seriously asking if you were doing CPE again.
Okay, CPE, quick drug reference. Cocaine. Cocaine.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Pellet.
Erections.
Exactly. Yes. Cocaine pellet erections. Okay. CPE.
And look, he's got thick skin. So maybe this has something to do with the skin thickness.
Oh, Monty, can we get some skin thickness references here? Yeah. Okay.
Length and girth.
Thanks, you Freeze. Appreciate you.
Christ's personal enforcer. God damn. If he is Christ's personal enforcer, I am a dead man walking.
And I want that known.
This guy's in real trouble.
Dude.
Bro. Nice try. Clinical pastoral education.
We were close, dude. We were close.
I like
clinical pubic erections is, yeah. Really
try
good.
clinical pastoral education.
Oh, sorry, dude. My bad. Sorry.
What did you change your picture to, bud? Is that a stormtrooper without a helmet? Okay. Mike Smith wins it. He does.
Christ's personal enforcer is incredible.
It is.
Like
it is. It is what it is. I just, I struggle with this Buffalo Bills things. I am because now I think this is a very germane question. Like, did you make a mistake in firing Sean McDermott?
No.
If you're going to hire Lou Anarumo, you are. I mean, you can't hire another defensive guy. Sorry, bud. But
that's what they're going to do. They're going to say, okay, well, Sean couldn't figure it out. So let's go get another defensive guy to try to figure it out. That's what bad organizations do. And this to me speaks to the greatness of Josh Allen and his ability to overcome the stupidity in that front office. Because again, I'm just going to keep pointing it out. You fired your head coach and you promoted the GM that had that team on the field to president of football ops. Like, that's a terrible look, dude. So the mistake wasn't firing Sean McDermott. The mistake was thinking we could fire Sean McDermott and hire some schmuck to be our head coach and think that was going to fix it. That's the mistake, dude. The idea that you're, yesterday on the show, we talked about Mike McDaniels and Mike McCarthy being two reasonable options from the offensive side to go ahead and push Josh Allen forward and that offense forward. Both of those guys are essentially spoken for now, right? McDaniels is going to LA, and Mike Fathead McCarthy is trying to be the Steelers head coach. So, I just think that bad organizations are bad for a reason. We're going to say, well, how are the Bills a bad organization? They've done all this winning. Well, they've been able to put a team together that can get to the playoffs consistently because you have a franchise quarterback that, quite frankly, is one of the best quarterbacks the league has seen in how long, right? So he covers up for a ton of that. Now, does he make mistakes? Yes. I'm not saying he's the best quarterback in the league. But what I am saying is you're a quarterback change away from being mid-tier to low-tier NFL team. And I think people take that for granted in Buffalo.
Yeah. A little. Yeah, I'm hesitant to say this out loud.
Let's go. Do it. Let's hear it.
There's a bit of a Donnie update. So did you guys hear about the Donald Trump plane incident last night? He was flying to Davos to talk about how he was going to nuke Greenland. And then they had to turn his plane around for an alleged electrical issue. Donald Trump was never seen getting off or on the plane. Nobody ever worked on the plane. And a bunch of staff were running around unloading bags, loading bags. Like, the plane comes back, lands. Trump never gets off the plane. It's a whole weird thing. Well, the plane took off in the middle of the night, and he's now in Davos where he's given a speech. It's the World Economic Forum, which, if you don't pay attention to it, you're crazy, because it's really important. The Prime Minister of Canada gave one of the all-time legendary geopolitical speeches yesterday. Donnie said this morning that he will not use military force to take Greenland. Very interesting.
So I think that if
why are we fighting over Greenland in the first place?
Because Donald Trump and this administration need something positive to happen, or what they would call positive to happen. And I think what's really interesting, because you and I were kind of texting about this, about like people's anxiety, if you will, people's concern over World War III starting to cook up here, and military operations and like Cold War vibes starting to build, between us and Russia again, and the Venezuela thing, and I think that what's concerning for me as a young 30s millennial is that I don't think that I'm a big believer, even for the worst leaders in the world, right? The Putins, the Xi Jinpings, those guys. I don't think even those guys want a nuclear war, right? I don't think as a human being, you say to yourself, yeah, we just hate America so much that we're gonna start launching nukes. I don't think that anybody is at that point right now. But what I do think is happening is the treasury bond situation with China and Japan is a real issue that common Joe, everyday American, doesn't understand as it pertains to Greenland. And if you don't understand how that works and how that is essentially handicapping Donald Trump's ability to leverage Greenland without military force, you need to read up on that, because essentially all our debts are held by other countries. So if we take Greenland, that's going to hurt our economy big time, because that's going to be the repercussion for doing something that irresponsible, which is why I am not surprised to hear, I'm not going to use military force, but we won't forget that you didn't let us take Greenland. Okay, well, here's the truth, Donnie. You're not going to be in office in 3 years. And everyone in the world knows that.
It's been 1 year, by the way.
He's
been in office 1 year, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But
so I'm not really concerned because I don't really love having the political, conversation on the show, but I do think the conversation around World War III anxiety is a legitimate one. And I think that there are people who are very concerned that, hey, like this thing's about to pop off if Greenland were to happen,
And you have was it Scott Bissonnette yesterday? I can't remember who said we were talking about retirements.
Yeah.
And this dude's like, yeah, well, maybe your parents bought 10, 12 houses so they could retire. Whose parents? Like, I don't own 10 to 12 houses. I have multiple homes, but I don't own 10 to 12 houses. Are you kidding me? Who's buying?
That's been happening more regularly, I feel like. I see it on Twitter more from a lot of different outlets. Even Fox at one point last week was talking about it, where it was like, yeah, this administration just feels out of touch with what the average American's going through. If you put all the stuff aside, like put the ICE stuff aside for a second, put all that other stuff aside, just, hey, what does average Joe American feel right now? Well, I know what I feel. I feel gas prices are lower than they were over the summer, but that's not really uncommon. Gas prices typically go down in the winter because Americans aren't traveling as much by car. So prices come down because demands come down, right? So they're not making as much money. The profitability just essentially scales down. So that's not like a new, like, oh man, wow, what a win. That's what we do every year, in my opinion. So like gas prices aren't a big deal. I still think grocery prices are high. I still go to Costco. I still go to my, local crap hole Albertsons. And I'm like, dude, why is this so expensive? Why is, like I'm at Costco the other day and I'm like, all right, well, do I want to do thighs this week or do I want to do chicken breasts? Like, what do I want to do this week? And I'm like, all right, well, let's switch it up and do thighs. I'm like, yeah, man, like, not that I can't afford it, but like, that's more expensive than I thought it would have been. Like I'm not used to paying, 30, 40 some odd dollars for that. I'm used to paying like 20, 25.
But my point is, this is why Scott Bissonnette saying maybe your parents for their retirement bought 5, 10, 15 houses. And Donald Trump this morning pronouncing that the United States has defeated inflation and that inflated prices are a myth and a lie. I agree the administration's out of touch and purposefully messaging that. That's what I think. And now the good news is at least JD Vance and his wife are pregnant again.
Man, that's just incredible news. But I just hope that, and you guys can, let's talk about it in the comment section a little bit. I think the conversation around like how you guys are feeling in the day-to-day about life, as it pertains to like what the White House is doing and like what we're seeing around the world. Like, I think that's a really interesting conversation because again, like I just said, I don't think that we're on the precipice of World War III. I think what we are, though, is, and this is what Canada's prime minister talked about, we're on the precipice currently of being in a really poor place with our allies until Donald Trump leaves office. Because I think what'll happen is no matter who it is, I don't think it'll be JD Vance. I don't think you can win the presidency, from California. So I'm not positive Gavin Newsom can legitimately make a run at the White House. He's going to try. I agree with that, but I don't think he can legitimately make a run at it. But either way, whoever the new president is after Donald Trump, the first thing I would expect that president to do is repair the relationships that have clearly been torched over this past year. And that to me is what's difficult is like we have 3 more years of just, more of this, which is brutal.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I just thought it was remarkable that you have a guy in Donald Trump who, when you're pissing off the Italians who are saying, great, we'll kick McDonald's out of our country. Because Donald Trump said in his speech, NATO is nothing without the U.S. And so what did everybody in NATO say? Okay, let's find out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just isolation. That's what it is. Groceries are way expensive. I like that gas is coming down. Well, gas makes a big difference. Now, I'm somebody who doesn't drive very often.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you, going to Canada last weekend, their gas, our gas, the economy, it's weird. We're in a weird place. Texas gearing up for another cold spell. Did you guys see this? And global warming's not real. I think we understand this. But from Texas all the way across to Florida, this freeze, this rainstorm, then the freeze that's coming. Please be careful. Please be careful. Why is Backwoods Mike behind the chat filter? Is it just me? What do you mean behind the chat filter?
Yeah, what does that mean, dude? He just commented less than 2 minutes ago.
I don't know what you mean by that. So you're saying his chats don't come up on YouTube? That's interesting. I don't know. Let me look in my... No, you're right. His chats do not come up. That's interesting. I don't know. I see them fine.
Yeah.
Oh, hit live chat. There you go. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There it is. Hit the live chat. There it is. Okay. Yeah, he has that. Yeah, the top message. Yes, he has top message filtered and not all message. There you go. Live chat option shows all in chat room. Top chat does not bring up all chat. Okay, there you go. There you go. You know, there you go. All right, real quick, I'm going to switch gears before we get too far away. Did you guys see this story about the NCAA allowing G League players to play college basketball again? On a surface, Jake, where are you at with that?
I don't necessarily love it. I mean, I think that the G League, people like to say, oh, well, the G League is minor league basketball and it's only one step from college basketball. What's the big deal? But to me, I would more categorize it as the G League is professional basketball players doing that for a living. That's their sole purpose. And they have massive motivation to get to the NBA so their quality of life can go up. So saying to a G leaguer, hey, yeah, no worries, dude, fallback plan, come back to college basketball, it's no problem. I don't like that at all. The reality is, though, that because you can be a one and done in college basketball, you know, I'm guessing the NCAA would, you know, that's their motivation. Hey, if you don't make it in the G League, come on back. You know, we'll have you for whatever years of eligibility you would have left. So I wouldn't allow them to do it, but I guess I understand it.
Charles Bediako, the former Alabama Crimson Tide player who has signed 3 NBA contracts, according to Spotrac, is asking for an immediate reinstatement, and he is suing the NCAA. And the NCAA has made it pretty clear. If you sign an NBA contract, you are no longer eligible to play in college basketball. And I think that matters. I think my entire point on this is at some point, and they're not employees and they're not this, but what they're also not is classified as professional athletes. You signed a contract because Bediako signed a 2-way deal, which means he's signing a professional contract. You are no longer, in my opinion, eligible to play college athletics. If you sign a professional contract, you should not be able to play college basketball.
Yeah, like the truth is you should go to Europe. That's what you should do. Why are we going back to college? Like, you should go to Europe, play in the Euro League, play in the Chinese League, do what those guys do. Because again, there's like this stigma, I feel like, with average basketball fan around these guys going overseas. Do you understand that if you go overseas, you can make a ton of money? Like, you can make a ton of money. You can be a star of the Euro League. Like starting 5 caliber point guard in the NBA is Michael Jordan over there, dude. Like, you're like one of the best players that the league has if you are starting caliber in the NBA and you go over to Europe or wherever you choose to go. So yeah. I guess my issue is more with the ethics of it, of like, your thought is, hey, well, I'm on a 2-way deal and I'm not making it. Let me go back to college basketball. No, I don't like that. I think that you should be treated just like any other adult, and you should have to figure it out. Because again, for non-athletes, we don't get to say, oh yeah, hey, like, I got fired at my job, let me go back to college. No, we don't do that. That's not how it works. That's not the culture, bro. The culture is get your ass in the gym and work harder and improve your game and become a more attractive player to NBA organizations. Like, know your role and do that role.
Yeah, I tend to agree with what the NCAA is saying. If you signed a contract, an NBA contract, you cannot come back. You cannot come back. I think if you are just on a G League contract, you should be able to come back because it's not the NBA. The G League, and people need to grasp this, the G League and the NBA are two totally different levels. And it's Bronny James, who does very well in the G League and cannot even produce in the NBA.
But still got 2 votes to start on the All-Star team.
He did get 2 votes. That's correct. No, it's not an NBA contract. A G League contract is not an NBA contract.
No.
In any way, shape, or form. So, Alumindursky, if they are not under contract, I don't see a reason why they can't go back to college. So you think if Michael Jordan wanted to go back to college, he should be able to go back to college?
If he's not under contract.
If Kawhi Leonard, if his contract doesn't get extended, he should be able to go back and play at San Diego. I mean, at what point do we say this is madness?
It is. And it's, one of the things I really don't like about the portal, NIL, just this whole vibe that we have in college athletics right now is that kids no longer have to see it through, right? Like you don't have to, as a G League player, again, if you're the guy that's at the end of the bench struggling to get minutes, for some reason, the thought is, let's go back to college. The thought's not, hey, well, how do I see this through, dude? Like I grow tired of people like, hey, you had a bad year. Everyone has a bad year once in a while. We're people. It's going to happen. It ain't a huge deal, but it's less of a big deal if you can bounce back and have a great year. Like it's going to happen, dude. But the answer is not to quit and just let me go back to college because I've had, exposure to pro level coaching in the G League. And now I'm better than everyone in college. I got news for you, dude. You're not better than AJ DeBanza. You're not better than the best college basketball players in the country. You're just
I would agree.
Those guys are NBA players that are waiting to go to the league. That's the truth of it. AJ DeBanza is a 3-level scorer and a great defender and is going to roast your ass just like anybody else in the G League or the NBA would. So that's my problem with this. I just think whether you can or can't, I'll be honest, I don't even like the fact that there's this lack of commitment for the draft. I don't love it when I see kids who are like, hey, I declared for the draft. Oh, his draft stock tanked. Let me go back to college. Well, there's just no accountability there. There's no like, what do you mean? Like Shedeur Sanders didn't go back to college football when he went from being a top 10 pick to being drafted in the 5th round, or whatever it was. Like I that's what bothers me about it. I just think you're running from the adversity that you're seeing in your young career. And that to me just sends the wrong message to everybody involved.
Yeah, and I just don't think you can, if you sign a professional contract, if you sign an NBA or a EuroLeague contract, you can't come back.
No.
You can't. I just don't see any way
but
that
the fact that you want
works.
to is the problem. The fact that you think that that's the right decision.
Well, that's how you're going to get paid.
Yeah, well.
That's how they're going to get paid.
Deserve to get paid, bro. Maybe you need to improve. Maybe you need to
but then
go see a skills coach.
But then you'd have to go back and work for a living.
See, that's the other side of it.
The hard part.
I don't see, but I agree that's the hard part. But I don't feel bad for you. Like I don't have any type of sympathy or I don't empathize with these guys. You've played basketball your whole life. It's not our fault. It's not the system's fault that you didn't take it seriously enough in college to improve yourself to a point where you could get a contract. That's nobody else's fault but your fault. Like that's just the truth of it. So you're running back to play with kids, teenagers, instead of saying, yeah, you know what? Maybe my best path is going overseas so I can get minutes. And then I'm going to take that money I make overseas and I'm going to pay, Brickley. I'm going to pay whoever, to improve me, to improve my shooting percentage, to improve my shot selection, improve my handle, frankly, to improve my coachability.
That kid who scored 100 points in Arizona. Did you guys see that?
Yeah. Like,
A
does that
kid
mean you're a
scored
great
100
player?
points in 3 quarters. His team won. It was like they blew him out, and the team won like 150 to 29 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, or what was it? It was he scored 100. The whole team scored like 110. It's wild. My point is, I think we're just losing focus on what we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in basketball. College basketball, to me, the shine is off of college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
The shine is off of college basketball, in my opinion.
And I don't even think, honestly, I don't even think Euro players should be able to come over and play college basketball. If you're in the Euro League, you're at the NBA level in Europe. Like the Euro League is not the NBA like for like, but it is professional basketball. Like you're paid to play basketball. Like you should not have eligibility at that point.
Brandon Butler. So query, if you're 16 years old in the Euro League, you shouldn't be allowed to go to college team because you signed a contract. Yeah, I think this would be Luka Doncic coming to play college basketball.
Why would you do that? Why would you take the step back?
Money. Wow. And I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. It's the 25-year-old faking being a high school student so he can be a great basketball player, which we've seen multiple times. Right? Like we've seen this multiple times.
Yeah.
Should Paul Skeens be able to go back to college because his contract expired?
Now, Paul Skeens, hey, you want to be a college golfer in the offseason? Knock yourself out, dude. You want to, in a different sport, you've never played it. You want to go and try to be on a college golf team? Cool, dude. Knock yourself out. Take that Bryson lesson you got and put it to good use. I have no problem with that. What J.R. Smith is doing, no problem with that, dude. Zero problem with that, because in golf, it doesn't matter how old you are. The game is the game, right? CVJ Singh this past week at the Sony Open, right? I have no problem with it in golf, but when we start talking about the NBA, certainly college football, like it's very cut and dry for me.
Yeah, I think this is a very slippery slope. It is. Show some sympathy, Jake, you damn hater.
Nah, man, can't do it.
Real awkward guy. My issue is that this makes me feel like these piece feel like they are owed a good NBA contract. No one is owed anything. I'm not owed a high school paying job. These kids aren't owed being drafted. Well, I would agree with that. I would agree. The Little League, Danny Almonte, world champion MVP with the full mustache. Yeah.
Brother.
Yep. Travis Hinton. Yeah. If they signed a professional contract, they shouldn't be allowed college eligibility. It's just a slippery slope. College basketball was ruined by the one and done a long time ago. That's
agreed completely, dude. Agreed completely.
And
you know what the real problem is for the system overall? The NBA is no longer benefiting from that. Because that's why they did it. If you remember, hey, we're going to do one and done because we want kids to be able to filter through. We want to get their best for 1 year and then let them move on. Okay, all right. Problem with that is overall, like there aren't enough Cooper Flags in the league to justify one and done. Cooper Flag has worked out, I would say, already. But how many Anthony Blacks are going to flop? How many guys that are top draft picks in the NBA draft after being a one and done are not working out to be top draft picks ultimately on the floor? That's the problem right now.
Yeah, college basketball's broken. It is just something that I don't enjoy college basketball almost at all. The regular season in college basketball, the one-off AJ DeBanza type story, okay, everybody can get down with that.
Yes.
I really do not enjoy whatever this is that we're doing in the greater scheme of college basketball. I don't love it. It's taken the fun out of the game. I don't love it. I really don't love it. And I don't know how you fix it. I really don't like. How do you fix college basketball? How do you make college basketball entertaining and compelling again? I don't know.
I don't know either, man. I don't know either. I mean, you need the blue bloods to be good again. You need UNC. You need, again, you need Duke to be really good, and they're solid this year, right? I mean, they're good. They have a certain level of performance that they seemingly are always at, but like college basketball, it went through a golden era, with Roy Williams and Coach K, and like, you had all these programs that had legendary coaches, and that's what I feel like made the run to the tournament as good as it used to be, is that you were like, hey, this is Roy Williams we're talking about, bro. This is UNC.
Yeah.
Like this is a team that should win this game in the regular season, and they wind up winning the game, right? And it's a great game, and you're interested and you're plugged in. It's what I've been saying for how long about the NBA. The NBA has so much turnover from team to team and year to year that I'm sick and tired. Like, Kevin Durant's my guy, but I'm tired of hearing about this guy complaining about his teammates and the struggles they have. You chose to go to Houston, bro. I don't want to hear that you got ran out of Phoenix. You could have gone anywhere you wanted to go. Anybody would have had you, and you went to Houston. That's on you, not on anybody else. Like,
yeah.
And so I just feel like there's a lot of that going on, man. Like, I don't get to say, oh yeah, man, like I'm not making enough money, so let me go cry poor and go do this and try to get free money from people. We don't get to do that, dude. Like, average Joe doesn't get to do that. So why should it be okay for athletes, man? Like, I just never understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. I want it to work. I don't think it will work. That's just my opinion. I want it to work. I want it to be awesome, and I want it to be fun, and I don't think it will. I don't think you can fix college basketball. It'll never be what I had as a kid, which probably is one of the overarching storylines of my life. Michael Jordan's era will never come back.
Nope.
Ryan Sandberg and the Chicago Cubs of 1984 will never come back. Michael Jordan at North Carolina will never come back. Walter will never be back with the Bears. Like, sports is so fundamentally different. Rookie contracts are just development deals at this point. Cody Williams is so far from a finished product, he is practically clay that is not ready for the kiln. Truth. Hey, look, Big Daddy Magic. Timothy, I love AJ. In 7 hours and 13 minutes, me and Victor will be breathing the same air, so I'm excited. Well, I talked about you earlier in the show and you panhandling in my DMs. In the show, Big Daddy Magic, I hate to say it, the show has said I cannot Venmo you money. I was going to send you, some bread, dude.
No.
And Jake told me I'm not allowed to do that. And then the comment section got in and said that you'll smoke it before you ever even spend it.
It's true.
It's
true.
So, as much as I wanted to send you money,
all right.
Get rid of the one and done. NBA allows kids to jump from high school, make NIL contracts about a number of years and a buyout. There, it's fixed. Is it fixed? Dolomite, the spirit has been sucked from college basketball. Okay. Fire Sankey, hire Saban. Now we're back to fire Sankey. Sankey made it harder for the SEC for a small stipend from ESPN. What does ESPN and the SEC's TV deal have to do with? Then why aren't we firing everybody in the Big Ten? Not true, BDM says. Victor and AJ is on the scene. This is the golden age of basketball, and it is beloved.
Yeah, I actually don't think it's the golden age of basketball, dude. Sorry, bro.
Victor's the way.
I'm
going to disagree.
That's the case.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. And it's comments like this that make it so, oh, look at this. It was for my birthday. I got you a birthday present. Okay, be a cheap ogre, it's okay. I still like you.
So wait, now because he won't Venmo you a birthday gift, he's an ogre? Do I have that right? Is that what you're saying?
I guess.
I mean, bro, like I don't.
You're telling me if I Venmo you money for your birthday, you will not buy marijuana with it. That's what you're saying. If this show collectively put together $50
back to the envelope calculations
and Venmoed it to you for your birthday, you would not buy weed with it. I don't believe you.
What?
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
I think you would have so much lettuce in your apartment they think you have a garden in there.
You're out of your freaking mind.
Like, I can't even imagine what you would do with that.
Bro's like borderline dispensary level out of his apartment.
1990 college basketball was the golden age. I remember Leitner and UNLV. The Shot. BDM is calling Monty Shrek.
Okay.
Again, I how do you argue with that comparison?
Bro.
How do you argue with that comparison? Marcus has forever changed the trajectory of the show by sending that photo.
I don't even know what am I supposed to do with that photo, dude? Marcus, what was this, dude? I need clarity. Like you only took this picture to send it to Monty to be like, yeah, wow, you must have had weight loss surgery, Monty. No way that Zepbound worked that well for you.
Yeah, he doesn't believe it's Zepbound.
Wow.
So Marcus is one of the easy button guys.
Okay. Well, if you think that Zepbound's an easy button, I think you should educate yourself. And you were the same guy last week asking us if it worked. So
he was, because he wants to do it, but he doesn't know that it will work.
Maybe we should dig up your online history and find a picture of you and show it on the show and see just how loyal a hungry dog is to that take.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, dude, there is no doubt I was not attractive. I don't even dispute that I was fat. I am fat now, right? Like, I don't think there is any doubt about that. I don't even try and hide from that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It just is what it is. BDM says he won't use the money for weed, and the lie detector determined that was a lie.
Yeah, dude. There's no question about it.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Couldn't agree more.
Jeremy Bolton, the mayor of Montytown. Good morning, sir. Today's college football is best it's ever been.
Depends who you ask, bro.
It depends on who you ask. You know, he will not buy the Mary Jane with it. He will just buy a bong made from rare crystals. This could be. Big Daddy Magic. Hey, who is Marquez? Who is bullying you? He's not bullying me. We're having a conversation about.
His name is not Marquez, dude. His name is Marcus.
Yeah, and he's a CPE student.
Like,
my point is, it's not a bullying thing. We're having a conversation about Zepbound and how it works.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny that he went to those lengths. I'm not saying he's bullying you, but I just think it's funny that. Because we've seen this before, not this exact take, but like we've had people over the years doing the show where like Tanner used to do it all the time. Oh, I'm going to go back like 8 years on the show and take a random screenshot or video of this and bring it back to life. Like
bad
we've
takes
had people
revealed.
do this before. Yeah. You know, like we've had people do this before, but I just think it's funny that that's what Marcus chose to do. You know, and you're saying that he's a Zepbound easy button guy. Like that's his take about Zepbound. Mm-hmm. Yet he's considering using it, which I just think is hilarious.
Yeah, I think he will. Listen, when you see people having results on Zepbound, and has it been difficult? No. Has it been easy? No, it has not. I mean, it is not an easy button. I totally disagree with that. I think it is. I don't know. I think Zepbound is a game changer. Terry Pagula, the owner of the Bills, said that her decision to fire Sean McDermott was solely based on the results in our game in Denver. Like, what?
So you're telling me you're still surprised about who they're interviewing? Because now I'm no longer surprised.
So you fired Sean McDermott after 9 years because of one loss. Sean McDermott should have been fired. The bottom line is, it should be the most attractive job. But now it would seem that a guy like who's gotten a job recently, John Harbaugh never had a chance at that job. You know, it is what it is. My Zepbound is Spartan races. Do you guys want Spartan stickers? Do you? I want to put them on the back of my car. Knock yourself
out, bro. Knock yourself out.
You know, I want it to be like my, what is 26.2, 13 point, whatever.
Oh, 13.6, Monty. 13.1.
Right? Like,
yeah, you're gonna Oak State James those stickers on Pele.
You know, like, it's not.
I can't even imagine. First of all, you're not a sticker on the car guy, number one.
I'm not sticker on the car guy.
But then number two, I can't even imagine what it would look like to have 13.1 on the back of Pele. That would just be such an ass thing to do. Like why would anybody ruin this right here with a 13.1 sticker? Like, what are you doing, dude? Come on.
I would never put a sticker on Pele.
Come on.
It needs a detail right now, but I would never put a sticker on Pele.
Guys, hey, guys, it's 26.154323439 miles. It's a Spartan racing. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I will see you in a week. I'm off to Sundance. Okay.
Have fun, bro.
DM me some photos of you and famous people.
Just make sure you have a shirt on in these ones, okay?
Okay, you're going to Sundance. I'll Venmo you for every famous person you get. And I need to know who it is. Like, I'm not going to Venmo you if Pete, the traffic cop, says, hi, Monty. But if you get famous people to say, hey, I listen to the Monty Show. Whoever,
big boo.
I'd consider hitting you up on Venmo. You want to put some famous people on the show? Let's do it. I'm open to it. You know, Jake, are you open to?
I mean, yeah. Hey, listen, dude. If you can get recognizable celebrities to make a Monty Show reference, whether that's just, hey, the Monty Show's awesome, or if it's like, you know, the Monty Show supports CPE, or, you know, hey, the take about Holly Rowe's left hand on the Monty Show is legendary. Hey, you know, Miss Teen USA South Carolina on the Monty Show is one of the best bits ever. You know, that works, dude, but it's got to be on video, and you got to be able to prove that to us. Like, it's got to be on video. You're in the frame, they're in the frame, that type of deal.
No, I don't even care who's in the frame. As long as there's one famous person on the video saying the Monty Show is amazing. I heard Monty's hung like a fence post. You know.
Yeah, the problem is nobody's ever going to say that. That's because it's just not, you know.
Probably ask him to say that.
Yeah.
You know.
Well said.
You know.
Right.
For the record, I don't do stickers on the cars.
FTR.
Though
FTR.
FTH.
Yeah.
You know, for the high. Though, if we could make Holly's snow hand into a sticker, I would put that on the truck. It's not a snow hand. Let's be real honest about what this is. Her and Michael Irvin spent some time together in a broom closet. That's what this is,
my friend.
I assume, you know, that's what this is. But who am I? You know. Yes, Brad Pitt in that accent from Snatch.
Okay, bro. Dude.
You know. Brad Pitt video clipping coming. Who the fuck is the Monty Pro? Who the fuck is a Monty program?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, you see Conor McGregor and you get him to say,
Who the Look at you.
I'm going to punch Monty in the face and then bounce. I had that clip stuck in my head on repeat over the weekend. I break people's faces and I bounce. It is one of the greatest.
That's what I do.
It's one of the greatest clips of Conor McGregor ever. That and the one where he's
Jose
like,
Aldo press conference are just
yeah, he's like, sorry,
bro.
I'm late, but I just don't give
a F.
You know, good to see you fix your autofocus issue there, Jake.
Been trying, dude, but it's having some issues today.
Monty, have you been up to Snoqualmie Falls and the Inn? No.
Snoqualmie Falls.
Nah, bruh. Nah.
What, did you pull that from a Toy Story movie, dude?
You know. No. Yeah, Brad, I would agree. Or if you could get Brad Pitt saying, Monty's a Nazi.
Bro.
He just, when I look at Brad Pitt or pictures of Brad Pitt, he smells.
Nazis.
Right? Like he smells.
Nazis.
That's what he is. He is Matthew McConaughey, but he smells.
Right.
Apparently, Brad Pitt is a terrible chain smoker. You know.
Excellent.
Tone, Uncle Monty not going to know the Twin Peaks Sundance Snoqualmie Falls. Well, I don't know. I have no idea what Snoqualmie Falls is.
I have no idea what that was.
You know, I probably should know. You know. Thoughts on Avengers Doomsday coming out? Apparently, it's going to be the most expensive movie
Here's
of
my
all time.
problem.
Jake is the moviegoer guy. I am.
Here's my problem, dude.
I have
Gabriel,
a life.
First of all, you're a PSG fan, so what the hell are you doing here? But secondly,
wow.
Avengers Doomsday allegedly being a 3-hour movie is criminal. Like, I understand 2 hours, 15 minutes. Okay. The other, I can't even remember the name of it. The other Avengers movie was incredible, like, for its time. I think it came out in 16 or 17, I think it was, or whatever. That was an incredible movie. But
Lord of the Rings, bro.
This Doomsday movie and like what Downey Jr.'s doing, like, I don't know. I'm not as bought in right now as I was back then. And I hope that the trailers buy me in. And I don't know that I'd ever see it in theater, but, you know, watching it once, maybe I will. I don't know.
What movie did you tell me sucked over the weekend?
Oh, dude, the Timothée Chalamet movie is garbage, dude. He's incredible just with what they ask him to do. The movie might be one of the biggest wastes of time I have ever been put through. Like, legitimately, we went with a couple other people, and if it was just me and the girlfriend, I'd have walked out of that movie. Like, it's that bad.
Who was it?
It was just like work people, friends.
Okay, so a quick Davos Donald Trump update.
Oh boy.
He is apparently 7 times referred to Greenland as Iceland. And I think you guys know that Iceland and Greenland are completely different countries.
Oh my God.
Fire and fury. Afghanistan.
Bro.
He will not use force to take Iceland.
Bro.
Y'all about to fuck this up.
I mean, can you at least get the name right, dude? Like, are you serious right now?
Is there anybody in Reykjavik who's like, wait, what did he say? Hold on. Holy shit. Did he just say? What?
Sometimes I think I just say shit. Sample what comes out of my mouth.
How do you confuse Greenland and Iceland? Yeah, Yosemites. How do you confuse Greenland and Iceland in a speech?
Like, I just don't understand how you mess it up that bad, dude. Like, what?
I'm not a big fan of Fox.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Yeah. The real awkward guy. People still care about Marvel movies. I stopped caring 1P. After the first Avengers, it just became too much. But this is like the idiots who go and watch Harry Potter movies.
Avengers Endgame is the one that I really enjoyed. That was
said
a great
the idiots
movie.
that go and watch. Never mind. Jake?
Concept you and your sticky fingers probably find hard to grasp.
Oh no, we're going to attack Iceland. Is Bjork safe? No, Bjork is in real trouble.
Yeah.
Bjork is in real trouble. I'm being serious. If you're the president of Iceland, and I don't know, do they have a president? I have no idea. But if you're in government in Iceland, did a little P come out when he said that? Like, what did we do? How did Iceland catch a stray here, Donnie? 6 times.
The
He
current
referred
president,
to Greenland as Iceland.
bro. The current president of Iceland is a woman, which is amazing. Hala, don't know how to say her last name. I'm not even gonna attempt it. Tomadidor, I guess. I don't know how you say that. That's tough, bro. Yeah, I man, I think that the hardest part is set the partisan nonsense aside for a moment.
Wait. Here's another direct quote. They're not there for us on Iceland. That I can tell you. Our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland. So Iceland has already cost us a lot of money. I'm not happy with Iceland right now, and they're going to find out.
Dude, bro, are you serious right now?
Donald Trump calling Pete Hegseth the Minister of War. Hey, I need you to go and attack Iceland because they tanked the stock market. And then he goes and attacks Iceland, and Donnie's like, "Why'd you attack Iceland? What did they do to you?" What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Honestly, it is embarrassing. What? It's embarrassing in my opinion.
This is wild to me. This is it is what it is what it is. Big Daddy Magic is Liv Morgan. She looks like Margot Robbie and she smells great.
Okay. I'm not going down that route with you, bro.
Endgame was fantastic. The only Marvel movie after that has been worth watching was Shang-Chi. Guys.
Hey, guys. Have you seen that Shang-Chi stuff? I tell you, you put that in your pipe and smoke it, and you'll like every Marvel movie.
I don't, dude.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
Okay, I got a celebrity to say hi to the Money Show. Do you want me to send it to you?
Well, you know how to send him Instagram DMs, bro.
But it's not the Money Show. I don't know what is that.
Hey, Morty, there's a sign behind you. There's a sign behind you that, and maybe my vision's going out. Maybe this is like an Iceland, Greenland thing. I don't know. That to me doesn't say the Money Show. Like it doesn't say MONEY. Just like it doesn't say MONNY or MORTY. It's MONTY.
Hey, Morty. Who did you? Yeah, I mean, you can send it. Send it to me on Instagram DMs, bro. Did he send it? He did send it.
Show.
The what?
Monty Show.
Hello, the Monty Show.
Liv Morgan, the hottest keeper in the world.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks. You're weird.
Twice.
Okay. Who is this person?
Who is this now?
Liv Morgan. Professional wrestler.
That doesn't count. Does Liv Morgan? What are you doing with a professional wrestler? Liv Morgan. Okay, Liv Morgan. I mean, I guess. Does that count? What are we willing to pay for Liv Morgan? I don't know that I'm willing to pay. Are we willing to pay something for Liv Morgan? What? Like how? We didn't put a price on this.
No. Price is yet to be determined. Here's Liv Morgan.
Oh, you got one. Okay.
I got one. Yeah. Here's Liv Morgan. This is a professional wrestler.
She does look like Margot Robbie. I will agree with that.
A little bit.
I mean, I
don't know. I'm not. Listen, dude. Listen. The agreement was that you would go to Sundance and get fresh content. You're not about to cash cow the hell out of this program with all the little videos you have on your phone. I want fresh material from this year's Sundance, dude. That's what I want. And if you get that for us, okay, then we can work something out, dude. Yeah, I mean, for Liv, I guess $10. I don't know. Like, we can just start a tab, I guess. I don't know. I'm not, because I'm the guy that's got to send out all the money. I'm not sending you money every single day, bro. I'll send you. We're capping this thing at $50. We can get you.
Okay.
I'm going.
And listen, if you get like a big star, if you get Brad Pitt saying Nazi and the Monty Show, that would be amazing.
Nazis.
Right? Like, that would be amazing. Yeah, Live Golf, you get Bryson DeChambeau, that would be amazing. You know, $10. Yeah, dude, like, it took 20 seconds. Well, and 20 seconds is probably being generous.
It's just not worth it.
You know. But
yeah, I mean, again, fresh material, because you're not about to just send us all these videos off your phone that you have. We're not doing that.
Well, how do you know he has videos on his phone?
Because we talked about it for 10 minutes and he's already got a video. Come on, dude. Come on. Bro is high as a kite on his couch right now. It's 8:20 in the morning. Come on.
You know.
Yeah. Come on.
Dude, this speech from Donnie is amazing. After the war, we gave Greenland back to Denmark. How stupid was that to do? How ungrateful are they now? Oh, my God. Well, this will be fun. This will be fun. This will be fun. Without us, right now, you'd all be speaking German and a little Japanese, perhaps.
Dude.
Wow.
Bro. Michelle Tafoya is running for the Senate as a Republican.
She is.
Here's to me never watching you again. Have fun, dude.
What about James Franco or dude, you get Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, dude, you get Leo, if you're going to get that level, yeah, okay, we can send you some bread.
Now we cooking with gas.
Yeah,
now
we can send you some bread for that, dude. That's not a problem.
Get Leonardo DiCaprio, we'll pay for that.
Yeah, that's cool.
We'll pay for that. No doubt about that. Leonardo DiCaprio would be. James Franco, wasn't he in Pineapple Express, which is the only movie I've ever walked out of? Right?
Yes.
I think he was in Pineapple Express. Yes, he was. That was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Pineapple Express was terrible. But, it is what it is. James Franco's a C-lister. What? That doesn't even make sense. Japanese, I'm telling you. BDM is that good, Jake. Stop hating. He is that good. For those of you who don't know, Big Daddy Magic is legitimately a paparazzi. He takes pictures and videos of famous people, sells them, makes money. It's why he's got such a throb on for VW and Bonanza.
What's an erection?
The U.S. had a large presence in Greenland during World War II and up until the Cold War. Okay. Even if the U.S. lost the war against Japan, there's no way Japan takes over the mainland. None. I hate Seth Rogen's laugh. I hate Seth Rogen on the whole. I am not a fan of Seth Rogen. But that's just me. All right, one last real quick Monty Show topic today. What do you guys make of this from Kyle Vinoy? That when a quarterback gets called for intentional grounding, it should be a sack. You work so hard as a defender and the QB can just throw it to avoid taking the sack. Jake, where are you at with this?
Yeah, I disagree completely. I think it's a cop-out by KVN. I think that it's either a sack or it's not, right? Like part of getting a sack is the quarterback has to have the football, dude. That's part of it. Like if you are tackling a guy and you didn't do a good enough job and he's able to get the football out for an incompletion, let's say, to avoid the sack, that's part of the game. Because if he's able to throw the incompletion, that means the line of scrimmage didn't move backwards where you had tackled him, right?
Right.
Like that's part of it. So And again, what else is KVN going to say? He's a defender. He's an older guy now, still a good player, but an older guy now. Like, I get it that contracts are, for a lot of these guys that are edge rusher, linebacker kind of guys, a lot of their deals are based upon their sack rates and their ability to hit the quarterback and their ability to pressure the quarterback. And my thing would be, okay, well, they're pretty good about calling intentional grounding already, which helps the defense and penalizes the offense. So why are we just handing out sacks for this? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I think it makes a lot of sense. Because if you think about what intentional grounding is, you're not outside the tackle box and the ball didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. In what scenarios does that happen? Well, the quarterback's trying to avoid a sack. And what's the penalty? It's a spot foul and a loss of down. So the result
what are we
is a
complaining
sack.
about?
The result's a sack.
But it's not. That's the thing. It's not.
No. It's essentially the result. You lose the yardage, you lose the down, but the player doesn't get credit for the sack, even though you're penalized for a sack, right? Like you lose the yards, you lose the down, but a guy like Calvin Oy doesn't get the sack. I agree with him. I actually think it's incredibly well done. It's well thought out. A QB should be a sack again. I think grounding, if intentional grounding, it's a sack, I think. It is absolutely a sack. That's a sack in my mind. Jake is wrong.
Great. You and Travis can be best friends.
He's only throwing it away because you got to him should be considered a sack. Totally
right,
agree.
but part of the skill of getting a sack is making it so the quarterback can't throw the ball away. I know, tackle him high. I know, go after his arms. Like we want to.
By rule, he is illegally throwing the ball away.
But you're trying to make two things one thing here so that defenders can make more money. Great. Penalize the guy for intentional grounding. That's got nothing to do with whether you got the sack done or didn't get the sack done. If you tackle a guy around the ankles and he throws the ball away and he's penalized for intentional grounding because the ball didn't reach the line of scrimmage, I'm sorry. That's not a sack. He threw the ball away. You didn't complete
What if he hadn't illegally dispatched the pigskin?
Then at that point, if he tucks the ball and you tackled him, that's a sack.
Okay.
The difference is Kyle Van Noy and edge rushers want a handout on intentional grounding.
It's not a handout.
It is though, dude. It is.
The defender caused.
So then what do you say? So then what do you say to all the guys who are premier edge rushers in the league that are getting sacks legitimately right now? If we're just going to undo this. What are you? So those guys immediately get paid.
But intentional grounding is legitimately causing a sack.
Yeah, we just disagree. Then what's a sack? What are we calling a sack?
Tackling a quarterback behind the line of scrimmage with the football is a sack.
Right. So then the last three words are the key phrase, with the football.
Right. He's not allowed to get rid of the football. It's illegal. They call a penalty. You lose the down, and it's a spot foul. I don't know. Yeah, I think you're just we
disagree. I'm not being
difficult.
Not
smart.
We disagree.
You're a goddamn millennial, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I know.
Why don't you go out in the world?
For your generation.
Why don't you go out in the world and take pictures of wrestlers that I don't know the name of?
Yeah, just blonde girls wearing wrestling trophies. That seems smart.
Calamoni gives 20 more Monty Show memberships. Appreciate that. Those guys would get more sack numbers. Just change it from a pressure to a sack. There you go. The owners made the rule change to save pocket change. Intentional grounding is an unofficial sack. That's what I'm saying. It's the owners saving money. And I would agree it doesn't happen often, but if you're a guy and if in the NFL, if you add a one sack to Michael Strahan's number every year. That's a lot of resume for the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's a lot of resume. If Growcock can get an Xbox, then BDM can get $10. Now we're back to Growcocking.
We're like 7 years past Growcock at this point. And we're still talking about Growcock getting a free Xbox, dude. Come, it's before this. It predates this picture.
It does predate this Fat Monty picture, which is this same picture right here.
Dude, man. Yeah, what a legend, dude.
You know, Corey Growcock, the Australian domination.
Legend.
You know, it is amazing, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Mrs. Monty is leaving now. Look, you want to know what life in Seattle is like?
Nope, an appearance.
She is fully bundled up today.
Oh, it's cold out there, man.
It is cold out there.
Freezing the buns.
Enjoy your icy walk to work.
In Seattle, not Iceland.
Exactly. Or Reykjavik.
Right.
Greenland, Iceland, same thing.
Just so we're clear. Yeah, just so we're on the same page.
Growcock straight up robbed us. You guys voted for him. It's not me who voted for him.
Yeah, I mean, we said if he could get a certain amount of votes, and it was an outlandish amount of votes, and he got it. It was like 50 or 60 votes or whatever it was.
And he got it.
Yeah.
And he got it. Yeah. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Calamoni, thank you for the 20 Monty Show memberships as always. And look at everybody sucking them up like they're Margot Robbie. Yeah, of
sucking
course,
them up.
That cheapskate Jay Chapman got his.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Suck them up, boys.
Yeah.
If you're not a member now, you're never going to be a member.
Nope.
64 in Orlando right now. Thanks for that.
Yeah, great.
Thanks for that.
Neat, bro.
Tom Dean says Monty cares more about Mrs. Monty than us dudes in the chat. Yeah, very good. That's right.
What'd you expect?
The puffy style coats must be a family tradition, dude.
They're warm.
It is this. Are you a believer in global warming?
I mean, not global warming per se, but I'm definitely a believer in climate change for a variety of different reasons. And I think to ignore the idea that, like, hey, the western portion of the country gets less rain than it did 50 years ago, and the eastern part of the country, because of jet stream shifting, is going to get more severe weather, colder storms like the one they're about to get, lasting longer and putting out more snow. That's going to happen, you know? I think that, like, everyone keeps talking about this dynamic of like everyone leaving the Midwest because it's so miserable and so terrible. But at the same time, my contention with that is, as far as the weather is concerned, is like, at the same time, there's opportunity in housing and different things like that. Now, again, I agree. You have to have a job. You have to have, like, you need to have a particular setup that works. Like, if you're going to go to the Midwest and you think that you're just going to walk into a department store and that's going to how you're going to make a living, I probably wouldn't advise that, bro. That's probably not what I would be advising. But like, if you're in the tech sector, if you happen to have a work from home job, if you have a job, if you have your own business and you don't even need a job, like, you know, if you have other ways of income, then it's a choice one way or the other. But this weather thing to me is
dude,
like,
this storm that's
is
coming.
Gnar. Like, bro,
they're talking about a 1-inch thick ice sheet.
Dude, look at we never got to this yesterday. People are denying that these pictures from Russia are real. Like,
oh, this snowstorm in Russia,
which I guess disappeared. Hold on, let me get it.
Everyone knew Growcock was an instant classic, and the fact that we're talking about him over half a decade later is proof. I don't regret voting to give him the Xbox. Long live Growcock. It wasn't amazing. If you guys don't, we used to give away Xboxes, PS5s, like for subs when we were trying. This is back in the day. I think we're pushing like 175,000 subs now, but this was back in the day 196. Where 196. Okay,
yeah,
great.
196.
So we're getting close to 200,000.
Yeah.
This was back in the day when we had less than 1,000 subs.
Yes. And we couldn't make money 10, on YouTube till we had 1,000 subs.
Yeah, and then we were pushing to 10,000 subs, and we would have 5 people watch the entirety of the show. And it's pretty remarkable that when you think about how long ago that was, and that Lopespan Gabe is aware of the timeline, it's crazy. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That, we're at 196, 545. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So when we talk about climate change and this Russia thing, bro, I don't know how to even digest that this is real. This is a real video. This is not AI. This actually happened. And imagine walking to work and this is what you're walking. And look at how casual they deal with it over there, by the way. Like, it's just like, this is just what happens. But so it doesn't surprise me that like the Midwest is going to get a bunch of snow, because if you remember, when I was a kid, we always used to get a ton of snow in the Midwest.
Right, but it's not even the Midwest. It is the Atlantic South.
Yeah.
That is going to get like this storm that they're talking about and this ice situation. Dude, good luck. Good luck,
dude. It's really rough.
Yeah. I remember when watching you when you had that sad excuse of a mascot on your shelf behind you, aka Swoop. Oh yeah, back in the day. Yes. That looks like a winter wonderland. My goodness.
Yeah, bro.
It's crazy. It's going to be 31 in Gretna, Louisiana on Monday, which is across the Mississippi from New Orleans. Crazy. Yeah, Calamoni's responsible for like 20,000 subscribers. You know, I fear for what our weather's going to turn into. I really do. I fear for it. You know, yeah, I wish we could get some of that in Utah. I wish, but hey, is what it is.
But again, this is my point. So the mountain region is drying up. Something terrible. No snow, no rain, no nothing.
Lots of wind.
The PNW is getting more rain than it usually gets this time of year, and it's colder than it usually is. And SoCal is not getting a ton of rain. And then you have the Midwest that's getting weather as per usual, and now the Southeast that's getting more unusual weather patterns. Dude, it's not hard to understand, man. The jet stream is shifting to the east. And this time of year, that means cold-ass weather is coming for that ass. And yeah, Georgia through Florida, you're implicated.
Yeah. By the way, an update on the story we talked about earlier. Charles Bediako has been given a temporary restraining order and is immediately eligible to play for Alabama basketball. He is on an NBA contract, a 2-way deal with the Motor City Crews of the G League. And he is now eligible to play for Alabama. I'll never understand it. I will never understand it. I don't get it. It is what it is, man. This is the world we live in college sports. You know, the moment it snows in Florida, there should be no debate about climate change.
Well, we'll see if that ever happens, bro.
Climate change is happening. Yeah, what about what happens when that snow melts? That's what's going to be wild. What happens when the snow melts? So again, I always ask this when we do these stories. Would you rather live in a hurricane? Would you rather warm or cold, Jake?
I would rather have seasons than deal with hurricanes and it's always warm. That's my thing. Like,
so you'd like to have seasonal change?
Yeah, I would rather be, I think for the value like the value you can find in the middle part of the country, I think is worth the seasons. I think that winter is a season just the same as summer is. I think that, yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes. Is it less ideal than 70 and sunny every day? Yes, it is. But when you're talking about, you know, like the other positive impacts it has, like, you know, housing and land and like, affordability is a little better than it would be like in the mountain region or like the West Coast, certainly parts of the, obviously the East Coast is very hit or miss depending on what part of the East Coast you're looking at. I mean, obviously you've got everything from New York City down to Florida. So, I mean, there's a wide ranging sort of cost difference there. But I have no interest in hurricane season. I'm not interested in it. I am not here for it. I'm not here for it.
Yeah, I think it's amazing to me that in the Midwest, my biggest issue with the Midwest, and I'm born and raised in Chicago.
Yeah.
You can't make money in the Midwest. The taxes, like I was reading a story, I want to say it was Forbes or the Journal. I can't remember what it was. Might have been the Business Journal, but e-commerce in the Midwest is becoming unprofitable because taxes are so high.
Mm-hmm.
Those taxes being high is making it almost impossible to get a good paying job. Like it's just living in Seattle is stupid expensive. It is nobody's choice because of the money. I am just telling you that it is not hard to make money in Seattle. You can find a job if you have skills, sales, marketing, you can find a job here. You're going to pay $4,000 a month in rent. And the commute is terrible because traffic's hellacious. But you can actually make money here. The problem in the Midwest is the weather sucks. The economy sucks. The housing's unaffordable. And the schools are terrible.
Yeah, see, I just don't see the housing being unaffordable. That's the part that I'm missing here. I see low 2000s for single family home rent. I see. I'm not educated on
it's property taxes.
But hear me out. So if you're paying $4,000 a month in rent, and granted you're downtown, so obviously let's call it $3,000 a month in the suburbs, let's say, or like well, not. Let's say that someone lived in the suburbs, they got a little bit of a break on rent. Call it $3,000 a month, let's say. So if you're paying $3,000 a month in rent, you still have the added cost plus the gas plus your food. Yep. Like, I hear what you're saying. I've seen the stuff about the tax too. I've seen that, but this is what we always wind up doing on the show. They're going to get you one way or the other. This is the property tax thing in Salt Lake. Like one way or the other, you're going to pay the cost. It's just a matter of which form or fashion you want to pay that cost in, So I don't know, man. I think it's hard for me to be like, go back to Salt Lake and pay that cost because that's going up, I feel like, every single year. Like literally every single year it goes up because of how many people are going there. I would never advise anyone to go to Phoenix because of the water shortage. Can't go to Phoenix.
Yeah. But look at how many people in the Midwest are on food stamps.
Yeah.
Like the number one state is Illinois. The number two state is Missouri, Michigan, Ohio, then Wisconsin, Iowa, South Dakota, Minnesota. Like to me, it's untenable. And I want to live somewhere where I know that I can battle to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I feel bad for anyone living in the Midwest. Mike, tornadoes are the scariest thing. And that's the other thing is then you have tornadoes.
But I would contend that certainly the odds of your home being picked up and dropped by a tornado are far less than a hurricane in terms of like the flooding, the mass effects of storm surge. Like, again, I understand that if you live in the middle of Florida, yeah, you're going to see the rain and the skyfall of the storm. You're probably not going to see storm surge, 100 miles into the state of Florida, let's say, or something. So I get that. But I don't know, man. It's a philosophical thing. I don't think it's a right or wrong thing. I think it's a philosophical thing depending on what you want to deal with. And I think that the one thing I can tell you is always choose to live somewhere with an international airport. That's what I'll tell you. If you look at cities where they've got an international airport, typically there's going to be more infrastructure, there's going to be more resources, and I would also contend that while yes, more people are on food stamps in the Midwest, part of that is they never get out of the Midwest. Part of that is they never are able to see greener pasture or see a different perspective on life. So they don't even know. Like if you said to someone on food stamps, hey, like, do you know, have you ever looked at or talked to anyone about e-commerce or like, you know, what you could do to help yourself? I would bet my life savings that I don't have that they probably haven't and don't know much about it. And that to me is the bigger challenge of like getting like people educating themselves on like what options they actually have and could curate in the day to day. You know, that to me is the bigger thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. Oh my God. I feel so bad for anyone living in the Midwest, Mike. Tornadoes are the scariest weather-wise. They are. Blue city taxes, bro. You don't want to have an argument about the economy, Republican versus Democrat.
No, you don't.
I will never forget Joplin. Oh my God, Joplin, Missouri. Yeah, that is. Yeah, everyone stay away from Phoenix. We don't want more. Best place I've ever lived. The issue in Phoenix is the water.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad place to live per se. If you're in Scottsdale, if you're in Cave Creek, if you're, you know, certainly North Scottsdale, like you're good, dude. You're fine. Like again, costs money, but you're good. But the water thing, I ethically, I have trouble with the water thing. Hey, I don't live there now. I'm going to go live there and invest there and suck up more of a resource that's already being torched. That's the same thing in Salt Lake, man. Like it's the mountain region and obviously the Southern California region that are struggling with it. You know, that's what's tough.
Yeah, I think if I could go live anywhere, I would live in LA, Orange County. Yeah, it's just no doubt about it for me. Like it's the climate I want, it's the lifestyle I want, and I agree the airport's huge. It's huge. The not being able to travel, it was such an eye-opening experience being in Europe, and we are just not viewed well across the globe. And talking to people about being American and dude, it is, I love Europe. I love England. I love Paris was awesome. Taking the train across France into the UK was awesome. It just is a totally different world. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard to explain to people who've never explained it. So, and I think, you know, well, sure, Gilbert's great, but think about your climate, how hot it is. Think about all of the haboobs, the dust storms, the air quality, then the lack of water. Like it's just, Arizona's got real world challenges. It's not, I'm telling you, it's not a bad place to live. I made a killing on real estate. If we could do it, my wife and I would totally move to Switzerland and live out the rest of our days there. Switzerland's great.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have kids, and my wife and I have talked about it. If I could go live in Switzerland, or if I could live in Europe for 6 to 8 months, I'm not sure I would ever come back. They just do life different. I love the speed of life in Europe. It's not hustle and bustle, and the cafe lifestyle in Paris, amazing. The chill vibe, the quality of life is what you're after. And it's amazing. It's amazing. If I could afford any place in the world and had no ties to anything, I would live in Italy. Great weather, food, wine, architecture. The architecture in Italy is amazing. I just planned our trip to Rome and Sicily. And I'm really excited about it. I'm curious if the U.S. somehow gets Greenland, how many people would actually move there? I think that's going to be awfully tough.
Yeah.
You know, you might be able to, Monty, Big Daddy Trump about to make it part of America. Yeah, I guess we'll find out. I don't, it is what it is, man. You got to chase your life. I really encourage you guys. I really encourage you to chase the life that you have in your mind. There's no reason you can't do it. You with remote work and the opportunities to work for yourself and Live your dreams, man. Be happy. Chase happiness. Chase prosperity. Don't chase paychecks.
Yeah.
Chase prosperity. Chase the life that you've always dreamed of. And I'm telling you, it is what we should all be doing. We all work very hard to make people rich. And very few of us ever get rich. And I am telling you, you should be chasing a life to fulfill your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've talked about that for decades on this show. Yep. And we should continue to. The Monty Show is always presented by The Advocates at theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. 24/7, 365 compassion, empathy. And the best part about The Advocates, they fought the fight you're about to fight, and they've won the fight. They know how to win against your insurance companies. Hook it up today. Nothing to risk. Risk-free. That's the best part of it, right? You never pay out of pocket to work with The Advocates. Clear risk-free advice at theadvocates.com. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it. It's exactly right. We'll leave it there. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.